welcome to Pixel Scandal presents Paper Scandal Dungeon World.
Yay! For the first time in a long time.
We are back. It's been a couple months since
year.
our last. It's been since last year that we played Dungeon World.
My fault.
But I'm excited to be back. I'm super. I missed this game.
Yes.
So, hi, I am Kurt. I will be our GM today. I'll be
Master
running
of
this
ceremonies.
game. I will be our master of ceremonies. I will be facilitating this. I'll be heralding in all of the good news. But I'm least important in this situation because I've got some amazing players, and they are all around me here. So I'm going to start up in the top left with Nightsun. Nightsun, how are you doing today?
I'm awake. I thought my contract was renewed with explicit rules that 9 a.m. would not be an official time for any events. So you will be hearing from my lawyer.
Sorry, contract negotiations don't happen till April.
Oh, is that the problem?
That's when our 1 year contracts renew.
Gotcha.
I hear you. To the right of Nightsun, Gidget, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm excited. We're gonna play this game we've been playing for a long time. I'm very excited. I'm happy.
There we are.
Yay.
Handor, you're over there.
Okay. Yep.
How are you doing? You feeling okay?
Oh, I'm doing. Yeah, I'm
you
feeling.
enjoying your Pop-Tarts with ranch?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
You said it. It's not like we even made up a stupid joke and we're running with it.
No one
we're
else
just
knows that.
repeating what you said.
No, literally, no one else knew that. So
Now they do.
Well, now they do.
thank you. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. I don't feel like spending the time to correct it. So
And last but certainly not least, Orestes.
Yo.
How many times are you gonna say his name?
It's like Amarin. Amirin?
Until he gets it right. So keep
Amaranth.
going. They're almost there.
Amarin.
It's his curse. He has to repeat it until he figures it out.
Yep. Yeah.
Orestes.
So
Orestes?
we're back. Yes. There you go. You got it.
I honestly, there were 6 names thrown, and I honestly don't know the difference between any of them.
You don't know the difference, or you didn't hear a difference?
I didn't hear a difference.
Oh, okay.
Well, how are
Sorry,
you
go
feeling
ahead.
today, Orestes?
Go ahead, Ors.
I'm doing all right. We're back. I waited until this very exact moment to actually pull up my character sheet and try to remember what I can do.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the weird one.
Reasons.
Yeah. Well,
Got the best one, I think.
speaking of, why don't you remind everybody who you're playing? We'll go backwards for that. So, Orestes, who are you playing today? Who will you be portraying?
Are you drinking
I will
shampoo?
be. Shh. It goes very well with my Pop Tarts and ranch.
Pretty sure it's conditioner
It looks like a
or
shampoo
hairspray.
bottle.
It's hairspray. I just ripped the top off.
I'm sorry, that was completely off topic, but
No, this is a new energy drink. This is called Uptime. No
okay.
sponsor, but if you want to sponsor us, I guess I would drink this.
So it is hairspray.
Sure.
So anyway, Orestes, who are you playing today? Sorry.
I am playing Gidget's familiar.
Oh,
Raven.
I get the background now.
Raven.
Oh my god.
I've been looking at it as like, that's interesting looking. I don't get it, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, I've decided that from now on I'm going to make my background relative to whatever it is we're doing.
Smart.
I like it.
because reasons. Yeah, so I'll be playing a familiar named Raven, who is a goblin but is a raven also,
Mm.
and has very cool magic abilities, and is comic relief. Yes.
Perfect. Well, moving back the way we came. Handor, why don't you tell us about Forest?
Forest is kind of
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah. If you've listened to the any of the episodes previous, you'd understand that Forrest was a very successful gladiator, but there's something that's happened with him along this journey that's prevented him from reaching his full potential, and nobody really knows what that is.
We call them
Called
dice. rolls.
dice. Yeah.
And he did very well in the arena. That he was recently had the opportunity to redeem himself. He's a gladiator. He's very handsome, very muscular. Very sad about himself right now because he's up like I said, up till recently he's just been getting his ass whooped all over the place by minions. So feeling pretty down about himself about that, but he partied for the first time, had a real good time. So he was shown a new world, and he's kind of escaping his woes that way by enveloping this new world that he was shown.
Well, that's awesome.
And apparently Forrest has a live journal that you can
Jumping to the other person on that magic carpet ride with Forrest, how are you showing Forrest a whole new world, Adelaide?
I mean, I don't understand what I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm playing Adelaide Ulari. I am the wizard, and we are currently in my home city of Amerin. And I'm trying to restore my family's honor while being distracted by Forrest and his shenanigans. Yeah.
Well, very cool. And Wonderful William, Nightson, why don't you tell us about Wonderful William?
Well, I am playing Wonderful William, the duly appointed representative of Endona, the master of all mystical thaumaturgy. And he is basically the hero of our story. He is on his journey to make the world a better place and set himself as the continue being the hero of all stories. And it's nice that he was brought these other individuals along to basically just keep them from getting into trouble.
It helps when you write the stories that you that you're
History
in.
favors the winners.
I think history favors the writers.
To the victors go the history books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Well, it doesn't bother you. You can't read, so.
Yeah, but I can have somebody read to me.
Well, speaking of the people that have to read to you, I'll be playing everyone else. Well, so last time on Paper Scandal Dungeon World, we saw the third house, right? That's the last thing we did. As you can tell, I meticulously prepared for this session.
A month ago,
and then we didn't have it. And so now I am quickly reading my notes. All right, no, so so last session, we got to see Wonderful William taking on a bigger role in the Wavebreaker family, sort of being brought on as their spokesperson, as well as sort of leading their motley crew of townsfolk that have gathered
and engineering their moral growth.
Right, just helping the custom of hospitality spread the custom of hospitality to everyone in Amerin, which is the name of your bar, in case you forgot. We got to see Adelaide lay hands on Forrest for several days, while she tried to remove his bone crown, which was a mistake by Raven. Got to get that bone crown.
Mistake.
Yeah.
Mistake.
Raven doesn't make mistakes. Raven has happy accidents.
We also got to see. Let's see what else happened there. We got to see Forrest hanging out with the ladies of Amerin, Claudette, Paulette, and Laurette. Laudette. something like that. And how he really interacts with people that aren't Adelaide. He's a little more aggressive than you would expect, or than he has been up to this point. But it was an interesting party at the Sunil trading family, where Wonderful William and Adelaide were brought in to speak with Priya Sunil, the head of their family, and asked to please continue making a fool of the Wavebreakers, because they have some plans that work best if the Wavebreakers are out of the picture. Let's see. I think that's it. Anybody else want to add anything that came up last game that you want to remind me happened?
I think that was about it.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. So as per usual, we'll pick up with what happened over the intervening weeks. There's always a couple of weeks between these fancy parties that take place in the 5 districts of Amerin. And so we get to see what you folks have been up to for a couple of weeks before the next fancy party. Because, of course, last time you did receive an invitation to the
Assam?
The Keys. No, that's the wrong direction. Assam, yes. The Assam family's party, which is the last rung before you get to go to the palace, Reina Kelsang's estate. So, firstly, I would like to jump in with Wonderful William. I think we're at the custom of hospitality, and what's been going on the last couple weeks at the custom of hospitality?
Well, I have been kind of helping run the show at the Custom of Hospitality, because they are woefully unprepared for the amount of popularity they have gained in the past few months. And so, we've ended up having to purchase the adjacent properties and extend the building.
Okay.
But beyond that, also, I've been overseeing some of the Wavebreakers' efforts in basically making sure they're staying on the straight and narrow.
Okay. Trying to keep people. Is it more of keeping people informed, or actually like checking in on the Wavebreakers to make sure that they're not doing anything shady?
Well, as I recall, the guy who took over, we had an understanding.
Yes.
That they would not be partaking in the unethical things anymore, or else there would be dire consequences or dire tigers.
Yes, that is correct. So they it appears that they are they're still let's see. You're how are you doing that? How are you keeping up on that, making sure that they're...
Well, I'm meeting up with the current ruler, guy in charge person, checking on, meeting. But in the same note, my visiting does air a sense of legitimacy to the new guy.
So you're noticing the Sunil family has been, all of these people that were suddenly like out of work, or all of the mercenaries that had sort of were scared they weren't going to get a paycheck. The Sunil family has been sort of buying up contracts with these people. And so they are slowly building their own mercenary force to provide security to the districts, which is very bad for the Wavebreakers, because that's their primary source of income. And there's some tensions between those that sort of favor the Sunil side of the problem and those that have decided to stay with the Wavebreakers. But as far as the as far as the leaders go, you get the sense that they're doing what they can to sort of maintain as many contracts as possible, and they're relying heavily on you to go out there and bring back the people that they've lost, the contractors that they've lost.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I think we see you with your retinue, right? Has brought new orders because you have like an assistant and a couple bodyguards. And so let's pick up at the Custom of Hospitality. Maybe in is there like a back room where you spend most of your
Oh
business?
yeah, of course we would have added some meeting rooms and whatnot. Still
Okay.
under construction, but
So I think we see this this like sort of nicer meeting room in the back of the Custom of Hospitality, and your assistant. Did we give him a name? Your assistant? If not, I can come up with one. That's
I
fine.
don't think so either.
Yeah. Well, so your assistant's name is
Scoops.
Boran. Boran.
Boring.
Boran. Yeah. So Boran is there, and your guards are sort of like standing by the door, and Boran is there with a bunch of paperwork, and he's sort of well, as I've said previously, we need to get back as many of these contracts as possible. Our funds are dwindling. The public opinion is worse than it's ever been. And of course our foray into Blackstone is suffering immensely because workers are just wandering off the site, terrified that there are deep ones in the mines, and so they're. We've got to do something. We must turn these around. So, what would you advise? Where should we start?
Well, at this point, I think. Well, it's too late for another party, but I would say that we probably should start just trying to earn some goodwill. Making the people believe that the house is all the negativity associated with the former regime is no longer here, and people will no longer be afraid of dealing with you, and not in the good way, not working with you out of fear instead of not working with you out of fear.
Well, I mean, how are we supposed to do that? We've tried. Listen, you're the people person. So if there is a way that is not exploitation and fear, then they're leaning on you for that.
Well, we could start hosting, some galas, as it were, here at the Custom of Hospitality, to try to sway opinion back to your side and maybe earn back some of those soldiers. I'm sure Sunil isn't treating them to wine and women.
True. All right. Wine and women. He's like making notes. Okay. Well, so we'll throw another a recruitment gala. Yeah. Okay. And he's like taking notes down. And as you hear that, you start to hear a bunch of noise coming from the like bar area. Sounds like people shouting.
All right, so I go investigate.
And there seems to be like a couple, like two groups of like 3 or 4 people who are like throwing insults at each other. And like they're like, one of them screaming like traitor, and the other one's like oh shit, what was the squid fucker, like they're like arguing. Yeah, they're like yelling back and forth at each other.
Squid fucker. Do you need assistance?
With that
So
squid?
What do you do?
So I walk forward, gentlemen. This is not the time or the place for this.
So it sounds like you're trying to like bring down the tension here.
Sure.
Let's have you. I want to
Roll
see
for
if
initiative.
tension's ratcheted up or if so we need a roll here. So we could defy danger or we could parlay if you think you have some leverage.
Well, I think defy danger works.
Okay, so why don't you roll defy danger with charisma? And the danger, of course, is that they're about to trade blows.
Ooh.
9.
Okay.
9.
So you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice. Okay, so I think. Okay, so these guys, you're a little far back, right? And they're still screaming, and so you're shouting, "Don't stop!" Like trying to bring down the tension, and you can see that your bartender, who's sort of become really really useful lately. She's really good at handling a crowd. She's sort of like outside of the family struggle, and so she's really been useful in growing the custom of hospitality. And you can see that she notices what you're trying to do, and she runs over towards the group to like get in between them, and they're about to trade blows. And so you can dive in and probably take one of these guys is going to deck you, or they're going to hit her.
Oh well. I'll go in.
Okay. So you're gonna dive in and take the hit to protect Will. Okay.
Yeah.
So these one of the guy, I think probably one of the wave breakers like throws the first punch. As Wilhelmina is running up, and you like dive in the way, and you just get clocked like right upside the head. I'm not gonna make you take damage, but it's like it just like rocks your jaw, sets you back. Oh, you know what? It skews your hat. Like your hat's like.
Oh.
Oh, hell
no. And everyone else in the bar just like it's just super quiet all of a sudden, and there's this tension of what's about to happen. But you've put a pause on this fight. And what do you say?
Well, I stand up. Step 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I continue to diffuse. This is the new wave breakers. And that's what I say. This is the new wave breakers. This is not what either of you should be doing. Like we are not about fighting amongst ourselves, regardless of who they used to be.
All right.
And then
You convinced me.
I order a couple of drinks for everyone. It's like let's have a seat and we can discuss this.
And so Wilhelmina leaves your bartender and goes to get some drinks, and the people that were arguing sort of like, all right. They settle down at both sides of a table, and Wilhelmina brings drinks, and you're able to like talk them down. But you do notice someone wearing Sunil colors that was in the back of the room, obviously like was observing this, looks a little disappointed and leaves. Like they sort of like give you a wry, a disapproving glare, and then they leave. And Wilhelmina comes over and serves the drinks, and you manage to get these people calmed down and moved on. And afterwards, Wilhelmina comes up and she says, that was very brave of you to take that hit for me. I thank you very. I don't know what to say.
Well, it's just they were just upset individuals, and we just need to calm them down.
Okay.
And further violence wouldn't have made it better. Last thing we need is a riot here in the comfort of hospitality.
Right. Might I suggest that we get some of our own security that doesn't have any affiliation with either of these factions?
Might be an idea.
All right. Well, there's a couple of groups that are sort of outside of the social structure. Do you want more up and up or a little rougher?
Let's go for the up and up for now.
Okay. All right. They may not be they'll be more expensive, but they should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So she heads off and goes back to cleaning the bar and tending to the patrons, and we sort of fade out from there unless there's anything else you want to do in your 2 weeks.
No, that's basically what I'm trying to accomplish. So
Cool. So we sort of like pan out of the custom of hospitality. What do we see outside? What's the vibe outside on the street as we're like in the Grand Bazaar?
What's the time of day?
It's probably like dusk.
Well, I'd imagine at this point it's probably a decent amount of people heading towards it.
So we see like lines forming of people trying to get into the custom of hospitality. Do you have bouncers outside, like checking people to make sure they're appropriate, or is everybody welcome?
Everyone's welcome at the comfort of custom of hospitality.
Awesome. So we pan out, we see all these people like filing into the custom. And we cut to, does anyone want to go next? Otherwise I have an idea.
You go for it.
Okay. So we sort of like fade out and it goes to black, and then we hear like in the in the TV show that this is, we hear water like lapping against like a dock or something. We hear like ocean sounds, and light starts to come up as we see a giant moon hanging in the sky, which is illuminating this black like dock or bridge through the water, and we can hear the tapping of someone walking on this, and we see Adelaide walking down this black bridge,
like a pier.
Yeah, sorry, this black pier, which is like almost at water level. And on one side, the water is tumultuous and riling, and you can see that there's like a storm brewing off in the distance. And on the other side, the water is calm, and there are like little boats with people on them. When Adelaide, as you look to your right and you see your family and all of your friends on this little boat, what are they doing?
So I don't know, maybe I'm not seeing the scene right. You're saying they're headed out towards the storm, or they're on the calm side?
They're on the calm side,
okay.
Just sort of like floating in the water. What are the things you picture your family doing when you think of them?
I think so. Mother would definitely look very uncomfortable. She's not comfortable in such a dirty situation out on the water, the breeze blowing her perfect hair. So she probably looks a little disgruntled. But the rest of the family is probably enjoying the freedom of no social pressures. So they're laughing and telling stories and kind of enjoying each other's company without the shackles of high society.
So we see this scene of your family sort of enjoying the calm waters and the open air, and your mother seems a little uneasy, and her head darts to the barrier, the pier that you're walking across, and that's when we realize that it's like a wall that is separating these two sides of this water, this black stone barrier between this calm, serene, picturesque place with your family and this tumultuous sea. And there's like your mother looks quickly at the barrier, and there's like a shutter in the barrier, and as if something is hurting it from underneath the water. And there's you see something moving on the tumultuous side, moving through the waters, and slamming into the barrier, but it's unable to pass through, and it passes on, and then it happens again, and it seems like all of this unease is coming from these. Every time something slams into the barrier, your mother looks again. And you know that it's your job to keep this barrier safe. And as you realize that, that comes to your mind, you see someone from the safe side of the barrier coming towards it. And they move up to the barrier and they begin to chip away at it. And they begin to dig into the barrier and break little pieces off and take them with them. And the barrier gets weaker, and water begins to leak. And the things that are bashing into the barrier start to realize that there's a weakness here, and they start to gather around that weak spot in the wall. And then you wake up. So what's been going on at Adelaide's house?
I think Adelaide would spend some time doing research in her father's library on the magical barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to gather information about how the barrier is maintained and how elves were supposed to keep it closed and maintain it and that kind of thing. And when I'm not doing research, I think I would go to my father and so the next party is at the Assams, and they are the family of crafting.
Correct.
And everyone has to present something that they've made at the party in order to show the greatness of your family. So I was hoping
something.
I don't know. Somebody's playing with something clicky.
I kicked my desk.
Oh.
So I was hoping that you would help me make something to present to the Assams.
Well, of course. I would love to make something with you. Did you have something in mind?
Definitely something impressive. Even if it doesn't have a function. Something flashy, something that will show how talented you are and how talented our family is. Something that will put us back in the position that we should be.
All right. Well, are you thinking physically flashy or magically?
Oh, magically, of course.
Ooh, yes, of course.
I mean, that's what our family is known for. So
Yes, yes. Did you don't have any specific items in mind, or some effect that you want to generate or create?
I don't know. I'm thinking a gift to the wife. I can't remember her name, but the Assam's the headmistress. Something that the head lady. Something that I don't know. Something. Maybe a crown that sparkles in with like magic or something, or a piece of jewelry, something that she could wear that would impress other people or show other people, and she would have to tell them when they asked where was that created, that it was created by the Ularis.
Well, my friend and I, you remember, you met, I forgot the name that we gave him, but
Dad's friend.
Yeah, Dad's friend.
Yeah.
You remember, you met him at the last party.
Yes.
We've been working on a way to animate metal.
Okay.
Based on your suggestion, of course, with your friend, with his
fists.
Yes.
Right.
So we've been looking into a way to allow him to use them more like hands. Now that's extremely complicated, but to just sort of give a bit of metal some predetermined function, I believe that we could do that. You definitely want something. You'd want some very fine metals to start. Could you get access to some gold or silver that we could use for this?
I'm sure I could figure out a way to acquire the things that we need.
All right. Well, if once you have those, of course, we could create. Perhaps we could make something that is constantly changing, right? Never the same. I'll do a little research and we'll see if what the Lady Assam is.
Oh, you know what? I'm totally thinking like in the Nutcracker when the uncle comes out and he has all his like clockwork dancers and stuff. Like it could even be something like that. That's like the whole room goes quiet and we put our cool thing in the middle and then it does like a performance, but it's magically enchanted to do something. That would be kind of cool too. That was out of character, but
yeah. So, maybe a metal ballerina.
That'd be cool.
Yes? All right. Well, how large? Well, tell you what. You find as much gold and silver as you can, and we'll make it as big as possible.
I am on it. I will get you what you need.
Okay.
Raven.
Don't let Raven anywhere near it, or else he will inject it with evil.
Raven.
Yeah.
I need your help.
Okay.
We need to get our hands on as much gold and silver as we can.
Mm.
And I know that you're really good at being sneaky.
Okay. Yeah.
So we need to figure out how to get as much gold and silver.
As much as we can.
As much as we can.
Oh, jeez.
Now, to be clear, get as much as we can, not turn our hands into as much as we can.
Do you think you can help with that?
Well, I mean, I have to. I'm your familiar. I have to do what you tell me to, right? Isn't that part of the relationship? Isn't that how this works, right?
I mean, I appreciate when you help me, but you don't ever have to. You're not a slave.
Follow.
Okay. Yes, as much gold and silver. Okay, but maybe I'll save that for something that I don't want to do.
Okay. Sounds good.
I
Do
like
you
gold
know-
and silver.
Do you know where we can get that?
I know a jeweler in the market that has a little bit of gold and silver, but probably not as much as you want. We could ask him where he gets his gold and silver.
Like where his supplier is?
Yes,
Okay.
that.
Let's go ask.
Okay.
So you go. So I think we know what Raven's going to do in the 2 weeks. So you guys go find a jeweler and ask where they get their gold and silver. Is this a specific jeweler? Like, is there information about this jeweler that we need to know, or is it just any old jeweler?
Just any old jeweler.
All
The
right.
one who has lightly guarded gold and or silver.
Right. The one with the least
And
guarded.
probably walking like on the way to the jeweler, if anybody you pass on the street is wearing gold and or silver, Raven would probably interrogate them as to where they procured their gold and or silver.
So we catch. So I think. So we see Raven terrifying people on the street. And I think the first one who doesn't just run away, points you to. We'll use Sylvia the silversmith. Sylvia is a silversmith. Let me write that down so I don't forget.
I don't know how
you
you
would want
forget
that witticism to be lost.
Yeah, gotta make sure I don't lose that. So one of the people who doesn't stop or doesn't run away from you says, "Oh, well, if you were looking for the finest silver crafter in all of Amerin, you'll want
Bulk
to find
silver.
Sylvia."
Bulk.
Bulk? No.
Yes. A lot of bulk. Lots of silver.
Finely crafted, and like holds up his wrist and shows you this
gold.
like ornate bracelet. No, small pieces mostly, but I anything large I imagine would be something the Masons would have. If silver is expensive metal for a large object.
Are you done?
Oh, yes, I suppose. I mean,
Silver.
I've been. He sort of rambles on and on and on.
All right, so Raven just turns around and walks away.
So, all right, you remember. It's a strange little fellow, and he like turns and walks the other way.
All right, so Masons also, in addition to jewelers. So we'll keep that in mind. Still looking for the jeweler.
So Sylvia Silversmith?
Sylvia the silversmith.
All right, that's where we're headed.
All right,
Sylvia
so
Smith, the silversmith.
Yeah.
Sylvia Smith, the silversmith. Thank you, Sylvia Smith. Don't want to lose that. Sylvia Smith, the silversmith. Yeah, there's a really ornate sign outside of Sylvia's shop that has like that big S, right? And it's Sylvia and then Smith, the silversmith, all off of this big S. And yeah, so it's like a little shop with some items in windows, little silver bracelets and circlets and things.
All right. Does the shop look very busy today?
No, there's currently no patrons inside.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just gonna walk in and walk into the front door and just kind of stand in the doorway for a moment. Does she?
So you open the door and a bell ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Is it a silver bell?
Yeah, it's a silver bell.
Okay.
And there's someone from the back. Thank you, whoever just subbed. Someone from the back says, "Just a moment, I'll be right there." And you can hear like some tools being used, a little tinking sound, something gets put away.
All right. So just walk behind the counter and start grabbing stuff out of the display.
you just start grabbing things.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bunch of silver trinkets and little there. I think there are a ton of silver ravens.
Ooh.
Yep.
And so someone sort of like you're grabbing stuff out, and someone moves up behind you, and they say, "Can I help you?"
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
You cannot just take all of those things. You must purchase them.
Well,
Purchase them.
oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Do you have coin? Can you purchase?
Pluck a feather out of my cloak and hand it to her. Here.
So you turn, and there is a raven folk behind you.
Oh.
And she looks
So-
at your
so you
feather,
already-
and she
you already
looks at
have
your
one.
she looks at your cloak, and she says, "Curious. You have
6 ravens worth of feathers. How did you acquire?
you're not what I thought you were. What are you?" She like leans in.
I'm a raven.
She like reaches out with a little spiny finger and tries to like poke you in the
Boop him?
nose.
Boop him.
Yeah, she's gonna boop you.
My mask, my raven plague doctor mask. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I will allow it.
Curious.
Mhm.
Where did you
Yeah.
acquire this mask and cloak?
My master gave it to me. When they called me.
Is it actually made out of like a bird or
Yeah.
a raven folk? Like is this like the cloak of a raven folk, or is it
Well, I don't know about a raven folk, but if they're big enough, sure.
Did you skin a raven and are now wearing them like a suit?
I did not. But
or
that
is
might
this
be
something
what
that was
this is.
crafted with is it actually a beak? I'm wondering. Or is
Yeah.
it like something crafted out of wood or
No, it's actual beak.
So we're going back to the Buffalo Bill scenario here.
Yeah. So she's like, you're wearing my people's skin. You're And she steps back a bit and she says, I'll need payment for those items. And you can see she's a little nervous.
Does your beak open and close when you talk?
No, it's just the top part. that
Okay.
hangs down. Okay. How much for all of it? What do you need?
All of
What
what?
do you want? All of it. Your silver and your gold, and where you get it from. I need that also. I need a lot of silver and gold.
All of it?
Yeah.
Well, how much silver and gold?
All of it.
Okay, well, I don't think that you can afford all of it.
Well, I mean, you haven't told me what you want for it. I was sent here by my master to get gold and silver. A lot of it. And I need a lot of it.
Okay. No need to get angry. All right. I suppose if you wanted all of it, all of what I have and what I have access to, you could give me. And she starts doing some calculations. I'm trying to remember how much things are worth. Hang on. It's gonna be a number you can't handle, like 100,000 coin.
$1 million
It has to-
reduce.
It has to be expressed in scientific notation.
Yeah, it's gonna be a number you won't have the amount of money for.
Okay, so like 5 gold.
Yes.
I'm familiar. I don't
Like-
have any money.
There's a thing in here.
I find
that
it
says
funny
how
that
much
you
stuff
would
is.
use 5 gold to pay for silver and gold.
I need 8 pounds of gold. That would be 5 gold coins.
Sweet.
Well,
Now
to
I
be
can-
fair, I don't think we've been actually tracking money at any
We
point. in this
we
game
haven't, but
whatsoever.
she basically just says like a ton of a king
I
for a
need
crown
one.
is 5,000 coins. So or sorry, a crown for a king for
King
a
for
crown.
a crown. Well, I
yeah.
have 3 kings. I'll take 3 crowns.
Yeah, a ring or cameo is 75 coins. So yeah, so 5,000 coins per crown. So we're looking at like 100,000 coins for all of it.
Sure.
piece of cake.
Well, obviously, I don't carry around 100,000 coins. That would be heavy. Look at me. I'm small. You can come with me back to the place.
Coin repository.
Yeah, you can come with me back to my master, and they'll pay you.
Why don't you send your master here with their gems, or however they assume I assume it will be gems. No one carries that
Well-
many coin.
I mean, if they were not so busy as to send their familiar, then they would have just come themselves. So, how about since I'm taking all of your product and you have no reason to keep your shop open, you just come with me?
Forgive me if I don't believe you, but I'm sorry. You'll need to show me something that, or actually, why don't you parlay? Let's see, because your leverage is that you say that you have money, and if you succeed, then they'll believe you and go with you, and if not, then they're going to need some proof.
Parlay using what?
I think parlay uses charisma.
Okay.
Okay, they ask you for something and do it if you make them a promise, but they need concrete assurance of your promise right now. Well, bring me these gems. Show me at least 10% of the weight of your promise here. Can you at least show me that you have? Do you have a satchel
Sure.
of diamonds hidden in that raven cloak?
Fur?
Sorry, it wouldn't be fur. Cloak?
So, how long has it been since the last, like in-game time, how long has it been since the last time we were playing?
Couple weeks. A week.
So, I would have digested that book by now.
Right. Yeah, probably.
Well, okay, come with me. So I'll walk right outside the front door.
You'll need to show me some proof that you have this money.
Yeah,
I cannot
that's what
come
we're
with you.
doing. That's what we're doing. It's just right here. And I'll just stand right outside the front door.
All right, she follows you out the front door.
And then I'll point over at the big party hall, guild hall. What's it called? The location.
The Assam
Like the-
estate.
Yeah, that. I'll point at that and say, you can have that.
Sorry, what did you point to?
Assam Palace.
Yeah.
She laughs, like she laughs out loud. And and she can't, like, she like gets a hearty sort of like cawing chuckle. And then she looks at you and she says, "You're silly," and she goes back inside.
Notice she didn't reclaim all the goods you had in your hand. Run.
She did not.
Yeah, she totally forgot.
She did not.
Yeah, she
That's
totally
like-
forgot.
Did you take off
Okay.
running down the street?
No, I'll just walk. Just walk
You
away.
just walk away.
It's what Bufo would do.
Yeah,
I'll
I
just
think a little
walk
while
back.
later, like it takes a minute, right? And then she notices that her curio is empty, and she runs back outside and looks around for you, and she's like cawing wildly, and
Oh man.
you manage to get away with some silver, probably enough to make a statue about this tall.
That's a lot of silver.
That is quite a bit of silver.
Well, it's gonna be dainty, but it'll be probably
Yeah.
about a foot tall, very slender,
Yep.
little ballerina.
I'll come back, start just one at a time. Little silver ravens encounter.
Raven, where did you get all this?
Sylvia Smith, the silversmith.
And she just gave it to you?
Yeah. Did you know she is a crow person?
She's
Crows.
a raven person?
Yeah.
How did she feel about seeing you?
She wanted me to pay for things, so
Okay.
not good.
So you took this stuff?
No, well, I offered her the Assam estate, and she just laughed.
Sounds like accepting.
Oh, okay.
I think it was.
You
a
did
laugh.
a great job. You did exactly what I asked you to. Would you mind taking this stuff into my father in his workshop and tell him that I'll be in a little while?
Sure. I'll just grab
Thanks.
them one at a time off the counter and start putting them back.
So I'm gonna head over to Sylvia Smith's silversmith store.
Okay.
And steal the rest.
So I walk in. Ding ding ding.
Yeah, she's there giving a statement to some guards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Just a moment. Don't touch anything."
Oh, I wasn't going to touch anything.
All right. Well, you just stay there, ma'am.
Could
Just a moment.
Could I maybe speak with you in private?
What I'm telling you, he was wearing a raven cloak. I don't even know what he was really. It's very small. No, he was not a raven. No, he was not No, he did not look like me. He was wearing a raven mask. She's trying to explain.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's going well.
Yeah. And the guard is like, "So he looked like you?" She's like, No, not like me. He was wearing a cloak that looked like me. But he was very short." And the guy's like, okay. And he took how much stuff? And like she's just giving an account of. Well, he took like everyone has a name, right? Every single raven statue had a name, so she's like naming them all.
She took George and Sally and
Yeah, right.
oh my. Okay. So yeah, I will wait very patiently for her to finish.
So the guards eventually are like, "All right, I think we've got enough. We'll let you know if we see anything. Good day, ma'am." And they go to head out. And they tip they nod to you
Right.
and like back out of your way.
Were they like writing down details, or was it just like a verbal account of?
These guards can't afford paper.
Okay, cool. So they leave, and I'll go up to Sylvia. Excuse me, madam. I believe you had an encounter today.
I would say,
About how much would you say was stolen?
And she's like all twitchy, and she's like her head is going around. Well, like I told them, this little thing took, and then she starts naming all of the pieces again.
No, I heard your story. I'm wondering, if you were to have, do you have any enchanted items in your shop?
No, I'm not an enchanter.
How much would you say an enchanted item would sell for in your shop?
An item enchanted to do what?
Depends on what you would want it to do.
I don't understand. I have no need for your enchanted items.
Would you have need for an enchanted item for you to sell?
I'm not a consignment shop.
No, you could sell it for a lot more, wouldn't you say? Your beautiful rings or bracelets would be worth more if they were to improve someone's ability to move faster or think faster, feel stronger.
Of course an elf would want to fix the problem with magic. Fine. I suppose that some would pay more for items with your curses on them.
What I'm trying to say is, unfortunately, my familiar
You're familiar.
took my instructions wrong today.
Now you have to kill her.
And
Wait,
I would like to fix the situation.
are you saying that your familiar was the one in that raven cloak?
He was, yes.
Guards! Guards! Guards!
Madam, I would like to
Guards!
try and fix this problem. And I cast Charm
Just
Person
slap
on
her.
You're gonna charm Raven?
Yeah. I'm a charmer.
All right.
Do
A real charmer.
Not all Raven folks are known called Raven, Kurt.
do do do
Yes,
do
ma'am.
do 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 do.
Do.
All right. Do you draw so that's a 7 for anyone who's not staring at the screen here. I didn't even switch to the dice. Let me.
Crapical.
Boom! You can see it now. So you cast the spell, but you draw unwelcome attention. Put yourself in a spot, or the spell disturbs the fabric of reality, or after it's cast, the spell is forgotten.
I'm going to disturb the fabric.
You're gonna disturb the
You-
fabric of reality.
Excellent. The
Me?
worst one.
All right. So the spell disturbs the fabric of reality as it is cast. Take -1 on going to cast a spell until the next time you prepare spells. Yeah. So you cast this spell, and you can feel the you hear like a cry of pain in your head. As a bit of the barrier is weakened. Yeah. And
Didn't you just have a dream saying how bad an idea this is?
and chipped away.
I think I might be the one taking chunks out of that barrier, guys.
And you get a flash of your mother's disapproving glance at the wall, and how scared she looked.
Yeah.
And the raven like calms down and looks at you.
Madam, as repayment for the items that my familiar took from you, I would like to help by enchanting and making a few of your items more valuable, so that when you do sell them, you recoup the cost. Does this sound like a fair deal? There are no other enchanters in town other than myself and my father, and your items will be worth much more in the city.
Fair. More than fair. I suppose. And that's, I think, when the guard comes back in, because it had heard her screaming for the guard.
Yeah.
And he comes back in and he says, "What? Yes, what? What?"
I'll turn around and look at her. No, we've come to an agreement.
Yes. Never mind. There's no trouble here.
Please choose 3 items that you would like enchanted, and I will sit in the back of your shop and enchant them.
All right. And she reaches behind her and she takes 3 silver ravens
Okay.
and she says, "Make them fly."
Make them fly. Okay. So I'll go sit in the back of the shop and spend the rest of the day doing rituals and enchanting her silver ravens to fly.
Okay. So
Man.
yeah, I think it takes more than a day.
Yeah.
Like it's probably a day per, but
Okay.
over the course of the next couple few days, you're able to find enough materials, and you've got all this stuff, right? So
Yeah.
you're able to enchant these little ravens to animate and fly around.
Right.
Unfortunately, you didn't think to put them in a cage, so immediately after finishing, they just fly off.
Yeah.
Fly out the You should just go into the back room and just like chuck one across the
Look at
showroom
flies.
out the front door. But there it went. Man, that was my best work too. That's unfortunate.
Well, you enchant one raven, it flies away, and then you learn from that and start tying little strings around them so they can't fly away.
Raven on a leash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you I think the charm person obviously wears off after a moment, but once she sees what you can do, she's and she is a bird of her word, so she would not go back on
If
the
Adelaide was
agreement
gonna
that she
be-
has made.
If Adelaide was going to be stuck there for that long, I mean, it's only going to take a couple minutes to dump off a bunch of silver ravens to her dad.
Yeah, you'd probably show back up, right?
Do you come back and help?
I would have to, because I know where she's going.
I think the Raven folk is very uncomfortable with your presence here, but
But it would definitely speed things up if Raven and I were working together.
that is true. Yeah, if you had an assistant to help you
Yeah.
and to hold on to the ravens when they were trying to get away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll
He's
just
like-
walk in and be like, did she come for the rest of it? You got a pretty beak.
We're ooh, Raven's flirting.
Or am I threatening?
Yeah, was that I don't know, you tell me, was that an advance
The lotion on
or
the
a
beak.
threat? Yeah, was that an advance or a threat?
Yeah.
Both. Raven's
Oh,
very
both?
complicated.
Threatening or sexual?
Let's make a fortune roll and see how they take it. Oh, it's a
Oh.
threat. They stay
Oh.
very far away from you, and you can tell that they're wearing a cloak now, like just a robe or something to cover themselves up to start to like protect their feathers and keep them away from you.
So I would spend a couple of days enchanting these things for this bird woman to pay for the silver and gold, and then head back home to help Father finish the item that we're crafting for the party.
All right. So I think we cut back to your place while you're still there. I want to check in with Forrest. So Forrest, you've been staying at Adelaide's place. Right?
Yeah, back in yeah.
Okay. So about halfway through the first day that Adelaide's been gone, you start to wonder, like where she's never gone this long. And as you sort of move around the house, you bump into her father. And he says, yes, Forrest. How are you feeling today?
Pretty good. Not as good as I felt when your daughter made advances on me and held my hand, but I'm okay today.
All right. Well, my daughter certainly knows what she wants, and has a history of murdering her boyfriends, so be careful. I mean,
You murder one boyfriend one time,
and now you're.
and now I'm labeled as a.
I don't think he believes that, but he's definitely going to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically just him saying, like, admitting or accepting that you're her boyfriend now.
So,
Just gave him a warning.
if Forrest, I've been having ever since the last week's party at the Sunil estate, I've been having a discussion with my associate about your hands, your gauntlets. How do you refer to them? Do you say your hands, your gauntlets?
I just call them my
Punch
my
your
hands.
hands.
Yeah, my hands.
Yes. We've been having this discussion about animation, and they're obviously enchanted. Of course, you're able to rocket them across the room. Well, he wouldn't say rocket. Rockets don't exist. You're able to propel them across the room in a way that, and then recall them back to your wrists with these chains. But how would you like it if you were able to manipulate the fingers?
Time.
Manipulate my fingers?
If you were able to move the fingers on the hand, use them like hands when they weren't ready to be punched.
I don't really see any use for that. I just punch things.
Well, but what if you wanted to eat with a utensil?
I don't know. I've never eaten with a utensil before. I guess I'd consider my hands my utensils.
Well, what if your utensils were more dexterous or articulate?
Ooh, dexterous. Like, better, being able to, like, maneuver better.
Yes.
So, being a master at fighting, I could make my hands an extension of my masterful ability to fight. In essence, making my hands themselves better fighters.
Sure, yeah. That is exactly what I'm saying.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I wasn't sure where we were going with that, but I'm glad you're in.
Someone in the chat clipped that, so I don't have to go back and copy it later.
I think so. We need to name Dad's associate, so we're gonna call him Rashid.
He had a name, but I can't.
Well, he's Rashid now.
Okay.
Proceed now.
I think it was Nicholas Flamel or something.
Okay. If you don't mind, would you come into my workshop? I had planned to do something today, but it appears that Adelaide will be longer than expected. My associate Rashid, we'd like to take a look at those hands. Would you come?
Sure. Do you know how long Adelaide's going to be gone?
I don't.
Sure.
Oh, okay. So he leads you into his workshop, and there's a bunch of stuff in here. Like there's a lot of like vials of strange liquids and little animals in cages and different like materials, sort of pile. Everything seems really neat and tidy. And then he has this.
Definitely. I'm super fascinated. As soon as we walk into this room, I'm gonna start fist bumping like almost everything I see, like just tapping on it with my fist.
Yeah. So you go to like hit a cage, and this what's it good? This ferret like comes up, and then it like comes over and looks at you and like tries to scrabble at the scratch at the cage to get through, and what's your dad's name? Damn it!
My dad is Ptolemus.
Telemus. Telemus comes over and grabs you by the shoulder and says, "Oh, let's not bother my experiments. If you could just come this way."
Okay, sure.
And Rashid enters and walks over to the like work table, and he says, yes, Forrest, pleasure to meet you again. We're so excited about the possibility of animating these fists. I'm very excited by it. Would come place your hands here on the table.
Sure.
Yeah. And he pulls out these like glasses with all these different colored lenses in them, and he's like peering at your fists, and he's talking to Telemus. You see here and like you can see the threads, and he's like obviously pointing at something that doesn't exist.
Every single time he when he closes in to look closer at my fist, I close in and get in his way to look closer at my own fist.
And
to see what he's looking at.
Yeah, you have no idea what he's talking about. And he's like, "See, you can see it. It runs through. I believe we could break it apart." And he's like talking about your hands. As if he could, like, I don't know. It's how do you take this? Like, are you fascinated? Are you terrified? What's going on over here?
Honestly, I'm pretty. Like with the things that he's saying now, I'm just kind of with the juggling of everything that's going on, so it's really distracting me. I'm locked into the idea that my hands will become better fighters.
So you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're gonna start doing things to your hands, and they begin to like work with your hands and like make, apply potions to them, and they at one point they like zap it with some electricity, and it like shocks up your arm. And one of them is like, "Oh, whoops, sorry. We'll try not to do that again." And they go back to working. My
other hand just whacks one of the dudes because I'm electrocuted.
Yeah, he's like laid out.
Sorry.
Yeah. But after probably a couple of hours of tinkering, you start to get the sense that your hands are you instinctually know how to like throw them and recall them. Mm-hmm. But there's a point at which you're going to need to sort of take control of your fists, of your hands. And so they start to like a finger shoots out, right? And like starts to like twitch around. And it's like moving around, right? And he Rashid looks at you like very serious in your like right in your eyes. And
I feel like this is gonna be what's the Robin Williams where he makes the super flubber. I feel like there's gonna be a
he says, "All right, so here's what I need you to do. I need you to reach out with your mind, and I need you to claim each one of your digits. You're going to need to regain control, and I want you to purposefully move each one of your fingers. Can you do that for me?"
I feel like claim digits.
Just move your hands.
Oh, move my hands.
Yes. Open and close them. And then I want you to individually move each of your fingers. And he's like,
okay.
Why don't you defy danger?
Yeah.
With intelligence.
Oh no.
It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, good.
Yay! 2.
Yeah.
Mark some XP.
Yeah, mark XP.
And then we figure out how much damage you just did to him.
Oh no, do your fingers become bullets? You
Um,
shoot off your hand?
That would be amazing.
Rocket punch.
So
Just reach
yeah.
out and grab him by the throat.
I can't let go. I don't know how.
Start. Yeah.
So
All right. So what? Yeah. Go ahead.
so you
What happened?
you reach out to take control of your fingers, and you can tell that your hands are not like they're doing things that you wouldn't expect, right? They you know, you're not used to it's like if you've only ever worked with you know, like using holding a basketball, and now they want you to solve a Rubik's cube.
Right.
And you are like, well, you just throw the Rubik's cube at the basket and that should solve the problem. And
Yeah.
so like your hands just go like but you know, all crazy. And like they're, you know, spazzing around, and one of your hands just sort of starts doing stuff, like grabs for a you know, like a quill and starts writing on some paper. And the guy's like, excellent, what have you wanted to write? What are you telling? And like it's just writing out probably like, you know, vulgar poetry, right? It's just like writing.
Yeah. Thoughts of Adelaide, like.
Yeah,
Dirty dreams or
but
something.
it's not like your thoughts. It's like
No, yeah.
yeah,
Subconscious.
it's not you at all.
Oh.
Like the hand is just writing stuff, and then like it throws the quill at the guy. But it's not like disconnected from your wrist, but it is definitely like just doing whatever it wants. The other one, so you're kind of at a point now where you can kind of just let it do what it wants, or you can try to hold it as in a ball, like ball it back up into a fist.
Yeah.
And if you're concentrating on holding it as a fist, it's gonna like take up a lot of mental energy, and so that's gonna probably cause you some negatives if you're trying to keep your hands as fists, or you can just let them do whatever they want.
Well, I feel like he would definitely try to control this situation. Like,
Okay.
these are my hands that used to be, you know,
Someone
Yeah.
else's
Pretty tame.
hands.
Yeah. So you're trying to hold them as a fist, and then every once in a while, it'll like a thumb will pop out,
yeah.
or you'll start flipping people off. Or if you're not like consciously thinking, but they're like, "Oh, this is so good," and you're like, what do you say to them when you realize like you don't have control over what's happening?
Well, they're all like excited about it, and I'm like, really giving them dirty looks and like pretty angry about not being able to control my hands, and they're so excited that my hands are
Evil.
doing none of the things that I wanted them to do. So
Yeah, like idle hands going on over here.
Yeah, you definitely have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
idle hands happening.
I feel like I'd be yelling like, "You idiots!" You know, but I'm not like that.
And I think they were celebrating, right? Like they're like, "We did it,"
Yeah.
right? And they're just like excitedly talking to each other, and you scream, "You idiots!" And they turn and
Yeah.
they're like, "Excuse us? We've given your hands, we've given you control over your fingers."
You've given someone else control over my fingers. I have no control of my fingers.
And they're just like, "Meh," like going nuts.
Yeah.
One of them is like grabbing for
I don't
something,
even know what's going on.
and they're like, "Oh no, okay." And so they try to like, they start like theorizing, and I think they spend the rest of the week trying to figure out how to solve this problem. Probably without any, well, with that too. They're definitely not going to have your hands under control before the party.
Oh God.
Great.
This
They
is
may have
why
some
I
solution
left.
for you though.
This sounds like it would be like
Yeah,
a.
that's why you came to the silver shop.
Yeah, this is why I left, because I knew had I stayed behind and something weird happened, he would have been like, "Look what Raven did to me."
I always get blamed.
I feel like going into this, they should have known the intellect of Forrest needed to be a little higher than it was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're here now.
So they so like the week goes by. I think they bring you these bracelets, and they're like, okay, we think this should deactivate the enchantment, or at least put it to sleep while you're wearing them. So do you want to try these out?
Sure. Let's see
And
what else you can.
They strap these like it's like the oh man, what are those like braided leather friendship bracelet kind of things.
Oh yeah.
And they tie one around each fist, and it just falls off your wrists and to the ground because it just deactivates the enchantment. And they're like, I can fix that. And so they come back with these like they've got the thing, but they come back with these braces that like basically they've got bracers, and then they just strap around the fists and tie it to your arm. So like
they're
okay,
basically duct taping my gums.
duct taping it together.
Gums. Yeah.
It's like okay, so if you don't want the fists, the hands to go kind of. If you don't want them to be activate, or if you don't want them to be awake, then you just put these bracelets on, and then of course you can lash them to your wrists, like this, like so.
By myself?
Well, I suppose you'll need. Maybe Adelaide could help. She seems fond of helping you get by.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point in these 2 weeks, I would come home and just, oh my God, what did they do to you?
You walk into the workshop, see that, and you're like, nope.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
A whole lot of nope.
At any point, do you try to like see if you can still fight? Or you just like depressed?
Yeah, I think he's just like super like just bummed, man. Like Adelaide's been busy, and now I have someone else's hands, you know. At least in my mind, they've basically
someone else has your hands now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you start
Someone
out
who writes the worst poetry? What was that, William?
Yeah.
Your hands have gone?
What's that?
Do you start on a quest to figure out where your hands have gone?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, I feel like I should suggest to Father that, like, I don't know, is there a way we can put like a magnet in his palm just so his fingers close back up so he doesn't lose control of his ability to fight? I mean, that's pretty crippling for Forrest.
A lodestone. I suppose.
I mean, instead of just deactivating the entire enchantment, can't we just...
Well, I fear that they would be stronger than the pull of any lodestone I'd have access to.
I mean, we could try.
Of course, yes. So they like a couple days later, they pull you into their lab again, and they're like, here, and they take off the thing, and the hands start doing stuff.
Yeah, but this time I'm in there.
Yeah.
I'm in there watching what's happening.
And they're like, oh, try holding on to this lodestone, and they like put it in your hand, and it like pulls in the fingers, and then they're like, and they like snap back. But like you can tell that they can still do stuff, but it's like a little more strained because this lodestone is like stuck. This big magnet is like stuck in the middle of your palm. So basically, you're holding onto a roll of quarters, which is not bad for a fighter. And what do you do?
I feel like this feels a little more comfortable. This is I actually gained some like relief being able to, like, when you feel pain, you bite something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that I have this sensation of my enchanted metal hands having dexterity, I am just like making fists
So
as
you're
much as
trying to
I
like.
can make fists. Yes, that is such a comfortable feeling for me. Like,
I think there's this when you try to they probably have like a dummy in there, right? And they're like, well, go see if you can fight it.
okay, so I'm so focused on making fists that the second that I look up at this dummy, my hands like just start like, freaking out. I drop a magnet, and then as I swing at the dummy, he basically just makes two fingers and pokes the dummy in the eyes.
So what I was gonna say is, I think your knowledge of fighting, like that's where you're most comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think you're like, when you go to actually fight, the hands respond, because that's something your brain gets,
well,
right?
What I was gonna jump in and say is, you do your thing and you drop it and you have the issue with your hands, and I would come over and like rub your back and say, it's okay, calm down, and try to like calm you down and focus you and get the lodestones back in your hands and like get you calm and focused, and then that's
basically you're coming over to me and saying the sun's getting real low. Sun's getting real low there, buddy.
But I'm trying to focus you and help you calm down, right?
Yeah.
Like center yourself,
yeah, that works.
Get back into your fighting stance, like just trying to help get you calm down so that part of your brain that's the fighter that is very natural for you can kick back in and let you make the punch.
I would say that would absolutely be massively influential for me.
Why don't you roll hack and slash? And it sounds like you're aiding, so you can roll plus bond from Adelaide, so +1. Cool. So you managed to like throw your, well, I guess you wouldn't have had to roll hack and slash because there's no threat of getting a hurt back, but you're able to do it. You're able to fight and like throw.
I think the risk was whether or not me standing nearby.
It's more defy danger, right? But it's the
collateral
roll stands.
damage.
And so you're able to fight this little dummy, and it feels natural, right? Like it feels good.
Cool.
You don't like go bananas, but then like as soon as you stop fighting and you start thinking about anything else, the hands like start doing their own thing again.
You need to give me like a pen and
I think you and I would be in like a constant state of like, I'm picking up the lodestones and putting them back in your hands and telling you to focus and like trying to get you back to calm, not flailing around with your fingers.
That's.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's as long as like Adelaide is giving me attention. That's all.
It's easy for you to focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would tell Raven that if he sees Forrest drop those stones, that he needs to tell me right away, so I can come help Forrest.
Yep. If he drops the stones, tell you right away.
Yes. That way there's...
Drops the stones.
Yes.
Drops them.
These little things. If he drops them.
Tell you.
Yes.
Right away.
Right away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect.
Well, that's a great place for us to take a break, I think. Okay. So we'll be what? We'll be back in probably about 10 minutes, and we'll pick up at the party, with everyone arriving at the Assam estate, and then I think we'll find out in a flashback what the silver animation creation that they create.
Sounds good.
They have ready. So, all right. So stick with us. We'll be back in 10 minutes. All right.
More coffee.
Woohoo! And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for hanging out for that 10-minute break. Last we saw what happened in the intervening weeks between the Sunil family party and the Assam party. The Assam estate, of course, is the craftsman. They are the craftsman district. And so we're going to pick up with our friendly players with their characters arriving at the Assam estate. And so I want to go around and paint the scene a little bit. And I want to know, what do we see that shows the different guilds? What sort of guilds do we see? And what sort of puts crafting and creation on display? As like, what do we see them making and building, and how do they display that they are the crafting district? So I'll throw it to... Oh, go ahead. Wonderful William. What do you got?
Okay, so much like how the Wavebreakers had basically slaves standing, and they were showing off the different varieties and whatnot, the Asan have individually crafted statues like on the entranceway for each of the different guilds. And they are, if you did not know better, aside from the coloring being off, the silver one or the gold one, stay away, Raven, or the stone one, they look completely lifelike. And so each different material represents a different one of the guilds, like the goldsmiths or the stoneworkers.
I can't wait till we get to Raven and you just see one of these gigantic statues. There's nothing underneath of it, and it's just...
Yeah, as you said that, I feel like at some point you would show up with more stuff in your hand, and I would be like, oh no, we have enough. Like, I would need to, like, I never told him to stop.
I want to add that the placement of these statues seems to indicate like the placement of the guilds, like the
importance,
priority of the guilds. Yeah, the importance of the guilds, and the most prominently placed is the Blackstone statue.
Yeah. So I think that this party would kind of have like a oh god, what is it called?
Fish.
Like the conventions you go to when they have all like the new tech stuff, to like you walk around to all the different booths and stuff, and you see like the newest inventions or whatever.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like that. Like, it doesn't feel like a
trade show.
It feels more like a trade show than like the glamorous parties that the last couple have felt like. Like, instead of it being a ball with like tables and it's more like stalls,
medieval
and
CES,
and it's medieval CES. Like you can walk around and look at all the really cool, neat stuff that like the different guilds are coming out with this year, and this is like their way of showing their cool stuff off.
There's like a guy at one of the things in a thing of armor with one of those like just cones, and he's like, step right up, punch me in the stomach, like.
Yeah, like there's probably
Perfect.
like a party room that has like the official like seating area with food and all that kind of stuff too, that's separate, but the main part of this party is more like a trade show.
That's awesome.
All right. What else do we see?
I wanted to say...
See Forrest going over to punch that guy in the stomach.
No, I was going to say...
It's just completely... Wait, what?
Yeah. The dude flies out the tent. He comes walking back in the front entrance. I was going to say, as we're entering the party, like one of my gauntlets, because I'm wearing the bracelet that's actually like, that puts my gauntlet to sleep. One of my gauntlets is in like Raven's pouch, like stretched across the walkway, and he's just got it in his like pouch. But anyways,
it's like a leash.
Yeah, I don't even notice because it's like numb, right? It's like I don't feel that.
Yeah, you're not feeling it.
Yeah. I see a lot of, like, usually I wouldn't be into this, like all this fancy armor and stuff, but once I put on those clothes and I partied and hung out and had a good time and socialized and Wonderful William taught me these things like talking to people, you know?
Use your words.
So now I'm kind of like turned on to the this armor that looks so elaborate and so well, you know, built and obviously this stuff used to seem so arbitrary to me before, whereas now I'm like kind of like you know, like digging it, you know, kind of wanting to put like a couple pieces on if I can.
Sure. So you're like going up to the trade booths and like, oh, let me try that, and they're like, oh, see, look.
Yeah, can you put that on me? Can you put that on me?
They're showing you how like they have like this you know, strap system so that you know, for if you know want to buy a set of armor but it's going to go on different people, because normally they have to like smith the armor to fit, so it's like these different plates that like are all strapped together to fit any person. Modular armor, right? And they're like showing.
Yeah, for sure.
So they're like showing you how it can work and check the freedom of movement and like all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's great. Try not to move my hands around too much.
And then we cut over to Raven like following the chain to find where Forrest ran off to, and what else do we see?
I guess that's it, huh?
Well, I'm curious. This is the party right before the Kilsangs, and they haven't been showing up to the previous parties because they're, you know, too cool for school. So, do we see them at this party?
So you do. We actually do get to see. There are actually like there's magical crafts here, and the Kelsangs bring different like spellcraft work and different like enchanted items and things that they've crafted. And so we see a couple of the they're not booths, right? The Kelsangs are too good to like be in booths.
Yeah.
But there is definitely like as you move further in to this would be like maybe the big warehouse or the big like open area is this trade show area, and then
there's like a stage where the keynote is happening.
There's definitely a stage. So you enter into this big room, like amphitheater. Excuse me. And there is there's a catwalk that sort of comes out, and then there's a round stage at the end of the catwalk. And on the far end of this round stage are these several what you could classify as thrones. And there's a black stone throne and a metal throne and a wood throne and different all these different, you know, some that are like ornately crafted. One is has a lot of like ornate blown glass on it. And it's just the different heads of the guilds are like these are their seating. And then there is like stadium seating, for lack of a better term, around the other sides, probably like too high, right? Around the other sides of this circle stage in the middle of the room, where they have basically the crafters, the guilds will show off, right, what's new and what they're doing to people who aren't, you know, they're not going to wander around a market, right?
Yeah.
So this is for like the heads of guilds, the heads of families to come and see, and they it's like a fashion show, right? But showing off the different items that come out.
Right.
Ooh, can I also add something?
Yeah.
No.
Thanks, nice son. Being on the back of my amazing victory, going to this trade show, as opposed to me like going to these vendors, there's a lot of vendors rushing to me to try to like show off their armor on me.
Sure.
Like they just want their armor to be on me.
Yeah,
Right,
you're like a
'cause
walking billboard.
You're the
champion
of the wave breakers at the moment.
Yeah, so I'm just loving that. Like the people are just running across. I've got, one shoulder plate on from one person and
Well, I think they're arguing, right? They're arguing about whose armor you're going to wear, right? They're like, no,
Yeah.
you should wear my armor, and they're like offering you, money, or they're like, well, you could wear this, and it's got like prominently placed like the name of the guild that made it, or, so I think there's probably 3 different groups that are arguing or like kind of fighting over basically being your sponsor.
Yeah.
So there is the plate, the sort of like plate armor guild. There are some leather workers who've got this like leather armor, and then there is a sort of
I'd say
like
a tailor. Like just they just
they just want to put clothes on you.
Yeah,
but I think it's
pretty.
I think it's enchanted like clothing.
Well,
So-
since I'm following him around to make sure he doesn't drop stones, because that was the order. If he drops them, to let Adelaide know immediately.
Right.
When the vendors leave their stalls to approach Forest and peddle their wares, I'm gonna just casually go around and pick up a couple things that catch my eye.
Sure.
Pair of
okay.
gauntlets, boots, a hat, maybe fancy hat,
Ooh, fancy hat.
Fancy
just
hat.
random things. Stuff them in the bag.
I think you definitely start stuffing some stuff in your bag, but
clanging against my gauntlet.
so what are you interested in? So they're like arguing, right? It's like no, plate's the best. It's heavier, but it's sturdier. Like nothing's gonna get through this, right? And they're like trying to show you, and the other guy is like, no. You can. He doesn't even wear a shirt. Why would he want? Why would he want your bulky, cumbersome armors? It's cloth all the way. And then there's like a leather worker who's no. You want the best of both worlds. You want the sturdiness and the flexibility, and so they're arguing. Which one do you go for?
Well, here's the thing. I make an argument to them that says that basically there's 2 things here, right? One is unintentional, and the second is fully intentional. My full intent is I want to wear them all and layer them. So I want to put the clothes on the leather and then put the plate over the leather. And then somehow, because just
So you would have to put the shirt on first, right? You'd have to put the cloth on first. So you take that, and he's like, "Aha! Told you." He doesn't want your armors. Just get away from here, right? And so you're putting it on, and then you go over and you try to take the leather, and he's like, "Well, what do you? I thought you were siding with," and you're like pulling it on, and they're like, "No, it doesn't. You can't wear it like that. It doesn't. You're not. There's no benefit to having both." And the cloth guy's like, "Wait a second. No. If you're going to wear my shirt, you have to have it prominently displayed." And you're like trying to cram the thing on. And the other guy's just like watching and laughing, and then you start grabbing the plate mail out of his hands, and then they're all like, No, stop it. None of this is happening. You have to pick one. And he rips it back, and the other guy's like trying to take the leather off of you.
No, I don't see why you couldn't just have all, and it would be the best. And then all 3 of you win, and I win.
So you come back, Raven. So you come back, and you notice that the lodestones are on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And because Forrest has been putting on armor, So it's like unconsciously, the hands are just like, "Yep, this is how this works," and they're just like putting it on.
So I'll go over and pick up the lodestones, and then walk off to find Adelaide.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Doing exactly. He's very literal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the
love
hands are
it
just
so
like
much.
doing the thing, right? They're just putting on the armor because you're
Yeah.
like, I understand armor, and so it's like it's just happening,
Yeah.
like without
Yeah.
your knowledge. And so
Whenever
like one of them is
when
like
they were trying
ripping at the plate from the other guy, and he's
Yeah,
like, "Sir,
exactly.
can you stop?" And he's like he's fighting with the hand.
Actually, since it's canon based on our last game, I think a Raven would just appear at Adelaide's side,
Sure,
and
he's got some
With a pop.
teleportation magic, right?
with a pop, just like pop. Force drop these.
Oh
Here you
no. Where is he?
He's in the room with the armorers. They're dressing him up.
Oh God. Okay. And so I start hurrying back into the direction that he told me Forrest was, like moving through the crowd and trying to get over there.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're rushing through the crowd. Forrest, are you still trying to jam all the armors on?
Oh, for sure. My hands are just automatically like fending 3 guys off at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, your hands are just doing their thing, putting the armors
Yeah.
on. And of course, the guy who's, the cloth guy is the most upset because his is the least visible. And he's like, you're going to have to pay for that. That's what it is. You'll just have to pay for it. Give me the money. Give it now or give me the clothes back. So I think you find your way up as this clothier is losing his shit.
So I see Forrest's hands like just doing things, and then like he's starting to walk off from the guys, and so I run up and like, put your hands out. And I put the stones in your hands, and they magnetize. But what were you doing? Why did you drop them?
Hello.
And he's wearing far too much armor. He's obviously. It looks like Joey when he puts on like all of
Yeah.
Chandler's clothes.
Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Yeah.
You look nice.
Thank you. I thought so too.
Yeah.
I love all these.
You might get a little warm, like a little hot, with all that
I'm used to
on.
it. I'm used to it.
Okay. Well, cool.
And the clothier guy comes over and he's like, "Wait, he's going to have to pay for that. If he's not going to wear it, I'm going to need payment. Do you have his purse? Pay me. I need."
I'll take care of it, and I'll reach in my bag and pull a pair of like leather boots. Here,
You just hand him a
Trade.
pair of leather boots.
fair trade.
He looks down and he says, "What? No, I don't want those. I'm sorry. That's not going to cut it. This is a very
They're magic.
expensive. No, they're are they magic?
Yes.
What do they do?"
I don't know. I haven't put them on.
Yes, I mean, I am Adelaide Ulari, the wizard, and this is my familiar. You can trust what he tells you.
Yes, but I'm sorry. There's no way that these boots are worth as much as my shirt.
Can I cast Unseen Servant and have them hold up the boots so they're like levitating?
I mean, yeah, of course you can do that.
Yeah.
I was
See?
just about to force the boots onto him.
Magical.
So what? I think you have to roll to cast a spell.
I do. I don't wanna.
I mean, I assume they're magic. I don't actually know. There's Booth like minutes ago. So why would he have boots that aren't magic?
Haha, I rolled an 11.
Yeah. So the boots float up into the air. What do they do? Do they just like float and?
They're just hovering there.
So they're just like.
They look magical.
Boots of levitation! I grab them and put them back in my bag. Nope.
No, Raven, those are your payment for Forrest's
Yeah, but I
clothes.
didn't know they were boots of levitation. Those are far too valuable for a shirt.
They are very valuable. They're wonderful boots.
All right, let's see if you can convince this dude.
Unfortunately, only the boots levitate. They don't levitate you. That's the problem.
What am I doing?
This is parlay, and your leverage is the boots.
Boots.
You've got trade.
Hey!
Dang.
Oh, boom! 12.
In your
All right.
face.
Oh yeah, we're not on the here. Boom! 12. And there's the cast a spell earlier. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, totes. The guy is like, boots levitation. You say. Okay. Well. Perhaps I could trade.
Raven, give him the boots.
But they're levitation
Nope.
boots.
Raven.
They're very expensive.
Raven,
No. You heard her. Come on now.
give him the boots.
Pass over the boots.
Fine, but I think we're getting end of the deal.
Just give me the boots.
Hand him the boots. There.
All right. And
All
he
right,
looks and he's like,
Let's go, guys.
and he like scurries off back to his booth. And he's like, you see him like start looking around the booth like he's looking for something.
Yeah. So I usher us away as quickly as possible.
The other two are like,
Ka-shink,
whoa.
ka-shink,
I'm
ka-shink,
sorry.
ka-shink.
No. You're going to have to.
But he's proudly displaying your items as you wished. So
Well, sure. The plate guy is like, see, I told you that's the best. That's why it goes on the outside. And the leather is like, no. Same. Give me. You're gonna have to pay for that if he's not gonna display my emblem.
how about this? Let him test out your armor, and if he likes it, then we'll come back and pay for it.
He's not even wearing it properly. He's got like 4.
Do you know who I am?
Well,
You
I
know where
heard your spiel with the other one, but
you know where the Ularis live. So
yeah, down here with the rest of us.
if he doesn't like what he's wearing, you know where to find me for payment.
I'm sorry, but if he's not going to prominently display the armor, then I'll need it back.
That's up to you. Which one do you like, Forrest?
I like them all. I want them all. And I am the best fighter. I should have them all.
I mean, you really can't argue with that.
Fine. Then payment.
How much?
It's like 800 gold or something.
You're gonna have to give it back. I don't have any more floating boots.
Are you gonna pull unless Raven wants to pull something else out that he's stolen?
Yeah, I don't know that you stole a bunch of stuff.
I'll pull out a little silver raven, and I'm like kind of holding it and cupping it. Very expensive, exquisitely enchanted silver raven, and like opened it and it tries to fly out real quick. I cup it back.
So you stole one of the enchanted ravens?
Yeah, he said he did earlier.
And he looks at it and he says,
Very expensive.
I don't know.
rare.
I don't dally in trinkets.
There's only 3 of them in existence.
Let me see if you can convince him.
What was that? Parlay?
Yeah. Okay.
This is the exact same thing you had to do last time.
Let me see it.
Okay, take it quick. It's gonna fly.
All right, so he
You ready?
like puts his hands over your hands and he can see the like goblin claws. And he's like he's a little nervous and then he like quickly tries to catch it and like looks into his palm and it tries to get away and he's got it, he's holding it and he's like, all right, fine, this might fetch a fair price.
I would,
Wonderful.
Puts
I would
it in
say
his-
do not sell it at Sylvia Silversmith's the Smith. Don't sell it at her shop.
Is
She
this
won't
stolen?
buy it. No.
No, I made it.
All right.
No, I gave it to you. It's not stolen.
He eyes you suspiciously. It's like, very well. You win this one, plate.
So as we move away,
This is awesome.
William, are you there with us?
What's
No,
William
I've
up
actually
to?
I've been going booth to booth.
Okay.
Chatting up the different guilds and different vendors, and it's like, oh, I know just the person to talk to, and we should meet up next week, and this
Making
and that.
business
You're
connections.
networking.
Yeah, yeah.
Do the wave breakers have like any type of crafting or booth that they have here?
So the wave breakers don't have a booth. They don't.
Okay.
They don't make anything.
They don't make anything.
Um,
Even
but
the
they-
dark stone or whatever.
they only quarry it. They don't actually craft anything with it.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, they don't have a booth, but they there's probably like there are representatives of the wave breakers here, which is Wonderful William and his retinue.
Right. Okay.
And so a lot of people, I think, Wonderful William, when you go up to them, and you're talking up the wave breakers, they kind of ask, so you've been working with the wave breakers, tough break there with their leader. How are things over there?
Oh, much improved. Much improved. Now that we've broken off from that very destructive path, things have been on the up and up, and everyone seems to be happier for it. And I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and I think we can become much better participants in the great city of whatever the city is.
Amarin.
Amarin.
Yes. Well, commerce is what drives the city. How are things going at the and a lot of the Masons ask similar questions of how are things going at the mine or the quarry. We've heard some reports of labor disputes and some issues with the Blackstone quarry.
I believe there was some fear about the deep ones escaping from the quarry. So I don't know, quite frankly, if it'll be safe for anyone to mine it anytime soon.
That's unfortunate. I know.
Rumor has it that the former leader of the wave breakers was taken by a deep one, and that's where this whole mess got started.
That's terrifying. I did not know that. It's a shame about Blackstone, though. Our current supply of Blackstone comes from quite a ways away, and it would, well, shame that we don't have such a close quarry. That was, it had been rumored that we would have access to that once the wave breakers gathered the trade route between the quarry and here. But c'est la vie, I suppose. Any other news?
No, not really. Just here to enjoy the festivities and meet some folks and.
Well, okay. Well, the Sunil family will be glad to hear that the quarry is officially out of commission, I'm sure. And then he kind of goes back to his work.
So I would definitely meet up with Father to go check on our invention and sign up for the presentation to the houses.
Right. So they have people that are sort of like taking entries to, as part of their show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, later in the evening. So they get you, scheduled to show, and they're like, what is the nature of your craft?
Enchanted entertainment.
Interesting. And what sort of accommodations do you require?
None.
Very
Just an
well.
open area.
Okay. Sure. We'll get you on. And what is your craft? What is your medium?
Silver and magic.
Metalsmithing. Yes. Okay. Very well. We'll get you in with the sculptors.
No, I think it would be more important to be in with the enchanters.
All right. Okay. We don't get a lot of enchanted items, so this will be a real treat.
Did you say Enchanted Entertainment?
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure that's a strip club I've been to.
That's the name of one of the bordellos at the foot of the rise
Enchanted
of
Yeah.
the Kelsang rise. There's a Enchanted Entertainment, and it's
Yeah. That's one of the
Yeah.
for those that wish to lie with elves. All right. So yeah, they get you on the docket to show your creation.
Awesome.
Anybody doing anything else before it's sort of like things sort of transition into a fashion show of sorts? All right.
Picking up random things.
just stealing stuff?
Yeah, just shiny little random
Why don't you
things.
defy danger with Dex, and let's see if you can get out of there without like anybody catching you.
With Dex. Dex.
Oh, good.
Oh shit.
Yay. Mark XP. So what do you get caught stealing?
Oops, that was the wrong button. Ignore that. A magic music box that plays whatever song is stuck in.
Plays whatever song is stuck in your head?
That's like a nightmare box.
It's a nightmare box. Okay, so you have this magic music box.
Currently, it would be "You're So Vain" because that's the song that's stuck in my head.
So what is the song that's stuck in Raven's head?
That'd be good.
Oh geez. It's probably one, I don't know, it's not a real song. It's one that he heard in a past life. It's very old.
Mm.
Just
Was
very
it?
old.
Is it from another plane? Because
It's
A
It would
traditional
probably-
goblin love song, which is just
Yeah.
a lot of screaming.
it's just a lot of screaming.
it would probably be in like Deep Speech.
Okay, so it's like it is a traditional goblin love song. Got it.
Yeah.
So this like yeah, so you walk by this booth and there's this music box there and it's playing something. You assume you can only assume it's the song that the person at the booth has stuck in their head. And the song changes. And so the person turns like knowing, oh, someone has come up to my booth because the song changed. And he turns and he sees you scurrying away and the music just pouring out of your bag. And he like snaps his fingers and these two like big dudes like rush over and grab you and like pick you up. And they've got like they bring you back and he's like, thought you could steal from me, did you? All right, I'll take it out of your flesh. And like they like drag you back away from the area. And these two dudes have like got you in their grasp. What do you do?
Well, Raven.
When I think he takes your bag.
Oh no.
Raven's reaction to situations generally in alignment with Rent Master. And since Adelaide probably would not just melt everybody, puddles of goo, to be a little bit more diplomatic.
Okay.
So Raven will say, okay, well, you got your music box and you have my bag. So we're even. You could just hold on to that and you can let me go. and I will tell my master how graceful you were, and that you're very reasonable.
Hmm. So let's see here.
And it's a very nice music box, and I couldn't help myself. It had a captivating tune.
And it's still
And,
playing this like sort of terrifying music, right? So I think that's probably gonna aid that's gonna help, right? Because this captivating tune is this terrifying song. So it sounds like you're trying to convince them to let you go. So why don't you we're rolling a lot of parlay, but let's go ahead and do that.
We do talk a lot. Oh.
All right, you got an 8. So they ask you for something, and so you offered the bag, which they have.
Yeah.
So they're going to let you go. So he's like I think he looks in the bag and he sees this like bounty of riches that you've stolen from all of the different booths, and you see him go green with greed, right? Like he sees this and he sort of shuts the bag quickly and he says, "If I see you again, you're dead. Now get out of here." And the two guys sort of like toss you to the ground.
You will never see me. I'll just get up and scurry away to the nearest guard, and I'll tell the guard, that gentleman over there has a bag of stolen goods from all over. He has agents on stealing from other booths to further his own gain. It's in a bag, and I'll describe the bag to him, and he has it behind this table. You should look. And then check with the other booths and make sure that they're not missing anything. From a concerned citizen.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
God.
definitely. I don't think we need a roll there. The guard like walks over and is like starts arguing with the telling him, all right, we need to search your booth. We've had some reports, and do you stick around for him to know who? Or do you book it out of there?
No, I'll leave. Go find the group.
Okay, so you scurry away and find your friends.
Yeah, he doesn't need to see the chaos he causes. Causing the chaos is his own reward.
Yeah. It wasn't my stuff anyways. I stole the bag too.
So you catch up with everyone else, and Adelaide, you've entered your thing. You've entered your creation into the show. Forrest is wearing too much armor.
Yep.
And getting a lot of looks. And Wonderful William has sort of like is sort of spreading the seed that the wave breakers are not as bad as they once were. What's the general message that you want people to get out of your networking?
Well, basically that, and that they should be willing to hire them again for all their guarding accessories, because that
guarding accessories.
Yeah. Because there's no longer the negative connotation from the dealing with the slaves and whatnot.
We're not in the slave
and they're
trade anymore.
uniquely equipped to start hiring guards of different skill sets, because now they've been hired. All those slaves are now employed.
All right. So
Can the Sunils offer flying guards?
This is a good question. So why don't you? Let's see. I don't know that we need a roll there, but
So I mean, we were asked by the Sunils to not make the wave breakers look good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
so
we
you're
were
going
asked
around
to keep the mine disabled.
the mind.
And I don't actually remember why, to be perfectly honest.
I think they've got stock in the other mine.
No, I know why they want us not to. I don't know why we want to help them. That's what I'm not.
They promised to help restore my family back to their high standard. That was my intention in helping. I don't know what they promised you.
I don't remember.
We should go back and watch that episode.
All I have is a memory of like, I don't really care about this.
Okay, so
Gotcha.
you are talking. So you're basically trying to fulfill both things. You're talking up the wave breakers, but you're also saying, yes, scary mine. Don't go in the mine.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
mine's closed. It's never
Okay.
happening.
Okay, I'm just making sure
Well,
that
you know,
you and
it'll
I
reopen.
aren't. What?
It'll reopen in a week after this is all settled.
Right. Okay, I was just making sure that like we're not going against what we promised the Sunils, but also like you've got your own agenda, so I wanted to make sure that.
Letter of the law.
Okay. All right.
Gotcha. So we move into the like festivities of the evening. There's a show of all of the like different, things that are crafted. We get to see the like a bunch of jewelry and things go first, and the clothiers, and it's basically a fashion show, right?
Yeah.
Like all this stuff sort of goes through, and it sort of moves, you can tell that they move up the priority, right? So like clothiers and jewelers are sort of towards the bottom, and then the masons, of course, are at the top. And I think the things that the masons, of course, go last, and then enchantments come after. So they would give the Kelsang.
That's not what
family.
last means.
Sorry. So the masons are the last of the guilds to go, and then they allow the Kelsangs to show off their enchantments because, of course, Reyna would be upset if she was not the most important.
So would
Yeah,
I
the
go
penultimate.
before Reyna?
Well, Reyna's not here, but yes, you're the first
Reyna's not
enchantment
here
to
at
be
all?
displayed.
Reyna's not here at all?
Well, Reyna wouldn't go out and display things herself.
No, I know, but I mean, is she here watching the festivities?
You know what? So you look around for Reyna?
Yeah.
Spend a fate point.
Make a
No,
declaration.
I think Reyna is here.
Spend a plot point. Okay.
Yeah. With like a pretty heavy retinue of guards and things like that.
Okay.
And of course, her guards don't look like big muscle bound people. They're like dainty little wizards.
Right.
But yeah, so you get this. The all of the different guilds go through. There's like statues of marble, and then ultimately Blackstone, and then Adelaide gets to go.
Okay. So I think Father and I bring out like a pretty box thing that we made to go around the thing that we made, and we set it in the middle of the stage or area or whatever, and we use like strategic like prestidigitation to make like a smoke bomb kind of thing go, and like the box opens, so it looks very impressive. And then inside there's this enchanted animated like dancer thing that we turn it on and it goes about dancing around the stage, and then comes back to its start position and shuts down. And it's very like delicate workmanship.
So I think it's really impressive. You get a lot of like gasps, right, when it gets out and starts moving, because even though there is magic in this world, I think your average person doesn't get to see an enchantment or like a functionally magic item.
Like an animated person would be really impressive.
Right, would be extremely impressive. And I think when that's going on, you get this like you can see in the crowd there, you get a glimpse of what's her name? Sorry, you get a glimpse of Sylvia, and she lets go of one of her little silver ravens, and it flies over and like flutters around with the thing, and it like dances with the bird, and so they get this scene of it like actually reacting to its environment, because it's animated, right? Like it's not just so like it and because it up to that point it looks like it's just a predetermined set of instructions to do, and then it like changes its thing to interact with this bird, and then it flies back, and you can tell that Sylvia's just kind of mad, right? She's just trying to like interrupt your thing, but it makes it look more impressive,
right?
And so everyone, like, you get a bunch of claps, and then you're ushered off. Bugsy, sorry.
The pug.
The dog started going nuts. So yes, you're ushered off the stage, and the last person to show is the Kelsangs, like their creation, their addition to this this show. And everyone is like, there's a long pause as everyone waits for their whatever it is that they brought, and they wheel out this, like, it looks like it's probably a statue or something, right, under a big cloth, and so they wheel out this statue, and someone there's an elf there, who you would probably recognize from your time in the palace, but no one, like, well, we can find out what their relationship is to you later. And they kind of call out to everyone, and for the past, as long as this city has been around, we've relied on the effort of men and elves and the animal folk to keep this city safe. We've relied too heavily on those that are the most susceptible to, and someone eyes Wonderful William and says, negative influence. And not like, they're not saying like you're negative, but they're talking about the like deep one thing that has been spreading around. The Kelsangs are here, like always, to save you from yourselves. We're prepared to offer you an infallible way to keep your cities and districts safe. I present to you, I present to you the first new elf. And then they pull back the curtain, the sheet, and there is, and you see an onyx statue of an elf, which, or not onyx, but like blackstone. And it steps off of the little platform that it was wheeled out on. And like it stands there and does, it like raises its arm and waves and puts its arm back down. And it says, these new elves are living embodiment of our connection to the magical plane. And then they say a demonstration, and he like throws up I don't know, something like a piece of fruit or something like that, and it like raises its hand and blasts it out of the sky with magic.
Lean over.
So this is exactly like the plot to when they tried to replicate
RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop.
I did not think of it as RoboCop, but sure, yeah, it's kind of like RoboCop.
I lean over to Adelaide. It sure showed you up.
What's Adelaide doing right now?
I think she is working very hard to control her facial expressions because she's completely disgusted by the bastardization they've done to the elven race and the magical plane.
So the voices that are normally warning you of danger. There is one very specific voice crying out for help.
Oh,
and it is in the center of the room.
So the last time I heard voices yelling in my head to kill something, it went badly. Yeah, I'm probably trying really hard to like keep myself composed.
So you're just trying to keep it together?
Yeah.
Why don't you defy danger? I think this is a dangerous situation because these voices are getting more and more aggressive, and it's going to be tough for you to like keep your cool.
Yeah. I rolled a 7.
A 7. So I think so let's see. So you could leave, right? You could run out of here and get away from the voices. Or you're probably going to have to like, you're going to have like a little breakdown, right? Like it's going to cause you to scream out or some show of, right?
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you leave, or would you try to stay and fight it and end up?
I think we see Adelaide like attempt to leave, like with the intention of leaving, but kind of like having a panic attack or something. Like she turns around to take a few steps, and like crumples to the ground, and you see me holding my head because the voices are screaming at me. I'm turning away from what the voices are telling me to do, so they probably start screaming louder in my head, like, no, you're going the wrong way.
Right.
And so I probably would fall to the ground and like hold my head and start like yelling out in pain.
Where am I at?
You're probably right next to where she was sitting.
I mean, this is kind of consistent with what happened to me when we were in when we were closing the barriers at the statues and stuff. Like when the voices yell too loud, I fall apart. So
yeah,
well, I would have seen Crazy Adelaide before, at least a few times at this point.
Well, you were the first one to see it too.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to lean down to her and start just talking to her in a nice calm. Monotone, just try to be a non-crazy voice in her ear.
I don't think I
encourage her to kind of block them out.
Yeah, I don't think like without other people's intervention, I'm going to be able to calm down.
Oh, okay. So you're going to try to help her out.
Yeah.
So that's a 10 on Arcane Art. What does that look like? What's happening?
Well, that's I'm basically infusing my blocking out the voice with magic. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
I rolled a 10, so
the mind is shaken clear of one enchantment, or so I could definitely see it.
That totally works. So
I'd probably stop screaming, but I'm still probably like huddled in a ball on the floor.
Yeah, well, I think it's enough because you did get a 10.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's enough to allow you to get out of there, right? So maybe you it's enough to let him take over, right? To let him help you. So if you're trying to get her out of there or just calm her down.
I think I see it like a magical, like you basically put like a bubble around my mind of the voices that are screaming at me, and so I'm able to get clarity enough to stand up, but my fight or flight still takes over, and so I start trying to leave the party.
Sure.
So if she's trying to leave, are you helping her or?
Yeah, I'll assist her out.
So as the what is it? Duly appointed representative of Andona?
Yeah.
duly appointed representative of Andona, who is absolutely disgusted with the way they were treating elves.
Yes. This
I will make my
facsimile.
disdain very obvious.
Yeah. This facsimile looks a lot like Andona. Like the maybe it's not. That's not to say that it is Andona, but it's very much like the statue of Andona, but made of Blackstone.
Is the sword reacting in any way, shape, or form?
Oh yeah, it's you. If it could glow blue, that you're getting a sense that there is magic here, and the magic that is infused in this sword is the same kind that is on display here.
Mm-hmm.
So Raven has never seen this before. This
Okay.
part of Adelaide, because I don't think she's had a breakdown since she's come to this town.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like any kind of like psychic connection between master and familiar? Like, would
I mean, you tell me. You're the familiar. Do you have a connection?
I mean, I'm trying to remember if because there's a move on the familiar book that says it's called Whisper, and it says your telepathy can just target one person instead of a people.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know like what sort of telepathy that is.
Well,
But yeah, because if Adelaide's having a breakdown and Raven's like, the hell? Like, what is this about?
mhm.
But then Raven's alignment is based off the Master's alignment, and Adelaide's going crazy.
Yeah, I would
trying
say
to-
totally.
And
You
so-
could probably take some of this pain, like you could probably take on some of this so that she, like, to lessen her strain.
Sure. Well, I mean, Williams kind of blocked it out, like
Mhm.
put that little bubble around her mind. So I think Raven's just very confused about this whole thing. Is probably asking Forrest, like, what's wrong? What's happening? What's this about? What's going on?
Oh, so you basically are through telepathy asking me this?
No, just out loud.
Okay, good, because that could have gone very differently.
Well, you can't see his mouth move either way, so
Yeah.
Everyone's
Um,
like, what's wrong with Adelaide? Why is she doing that? Why is she holding her head? Why did she fall down? What's going on? Why is she running? Why is she screaming?
So many questions.
why are there stairs here? Why is it?
Yeah. Why is there?
Why is the sky blue?
Yeah. I don't fully understand. I know that she's dealing with more than she can handle, so she's dealing with more.
More what? What's causing it? Why is she acting like that? Is it because of the elf? Is it the black elf?
Yeah. Something to do with her magic and sensing. I don't know, man.
So I
Okay.
think people are starting to like. So there's definitely some concerned citizens, right? Like people that were concerned about Adelaide that are coming over to try to help. There's people that are a little like disturbed by the outburst. The person on stage is trying their best to maintain like the audience, to like keep the audience and talk about their creation. And I think they're starting to lose the audience because everyone's a little worried about what's going on over here.
I'm just escorting Adelaide out.
Okay,
Can I punch this thing in the face?
you want to punch the elf in the face?
It's stone, right?
Yeah, the
Like-
stone elf.
Yeah.
You won't do it.
You're going to fight the Killbot.
Yep.
You won't do it. Look what he did to Adelaide. Adelaide is acting out. She's very upset because of this thing. It's hurting her.
So I think they're trying to like wrap it up, right? They're saying, come to the Kelsang's estate in whatever, in 2 weeks to find out more and see how you can be part of this, excellent change for the city of Amerin. And then they're like covering it with a sheet. And and then Forrest, you said you're gonna run down there and fight it?
No, I'm just trying to figure out, where everyone is. So Adelaide and Wonderful Will are like taking off, right? And him and he's talking to me, and they're trying to close everything up, right? So I'm pretty preoccupied.
Okay, so you're not gonna attack it then?
Yeah.
You want me to attack this thing?
No. You said you were, I'm giving you the opportunity.
No,
I'm making sure that.
I could spin it. It could be spun if that's the decision we're going with, but
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm,
so
I'm so just.
they start moving it off the stage.
Okay.
And
Where
someone
is-
comes out.
Where
Go
is Reyna?
She's in the stands, and she is eyeing the situation with Adelaide very closely.
I need to talk to Reyna.
poof.
Poof.
Do you teleport over to Reyna?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not teleporting to Adelaide's side, so I want you to roll
No.
for that one.
And that's-
Unless the move specifically says you don't have to roll to
No.
teleport.
It's master of my domain.
Okay.
So. Poof.
Oh, geez.
Dang.
Yeah.
13.
I think he poofs with authority.
I think she had just sent someone off, right? She had just sent one of her vassals to go and like do something. She had just told them. So they get up, and you just like, when she looks back, you're in his seat. And she looks down and goes, curious. You appeared so quietly.
Yeah, I've been practicing. We need to have a talk. I have many questions for you.
Do we now?
Yes.
Like she kind of smiles like a kid just said something is very important.
Very important. So important. For
Go
starters, very impressive with the new elf.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is elf an acronym?
I don't think so.
It's in a, yeah, it's an acronym.
Engineered
Life form.
lifelike. What's an F word for?
Facsimile.
Facsimile's okay, but that's okay. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, he's thinking about that. Okay, so first of all, very impressive with your new elf and the Blackstone stuff. Where did you send my master?
Your master.
Hmm?
So do you know Reyna? And okay, so I'm trying to remember back.
Mhm.
I'm okay with just this if this is just being established now, but we didn't have this established, right?
Yeah, I did. This
Oh,
is the
shit.
backstory.
What's this?
Raven's Raven's backstory.
Yeah, remind everyone. Because of course I know, but tell the camera.
Yeah. So Raven has a master, a previous master before Adam. Reyna sent out on a mission and disappeared into somewhere, space. And so Raven's actual mission is to find a worthy wizard to help cover his master,
All right.
Adelaide. But now Reyna has sent his master, and now his new master is freaking out because Reina's doing stuff.
So you're okay. I got it. So Reina looks at you and says, Well, Raven, your master. I don't believe he'll be returning.
This does not please me.
I am so sorry, but it looks like you found a new master.
And I'll just look down over the balcony. Yeah, but she's broken. I think you did that also.
No, she's not broken. She's perfect. Can't you tell? She has a connection.
With
More a stronger connection than I've ever seen.
They're gonna eat you.
So she's strong.
Oh, very strong.
Hmm.
She carries a heavy burden. I'd like to help her if I can.
So would I. So why don't you tell me? And then I'll help her, and then you can help her through me.
Well, why don't you bring her to my estate? Then we can examine her burden more closely and see what exactly we need to do to help her.
When?
Her family has been removed from my estate for some time, but that was, of course, a mistake, as you can tell. We've recently discovered that that she is not responsible for things that we once thought. And of course, we wouldn't want to leave one of our own out there in the cold.
Is Reina human?
She is an elf.
Okay.
So you're going to bring them back to the house?
Go and find Adelaide. My vassal has already gone to see to her. He's going to ask for a meeting with her and her father. Help her. Make sure that she does the right thing.
So, going back to my previous master, master, where are his things not
In the
coming back? He
palace.
won't be needing them. So, I think those would be very useful things for Adelaide to have.
I think you are very right. I would gladly provide her with any of your master's old belongings. They're still kept at our palace.
Okay. I'll let her know.
Thank you, Raven.
So when are you going to be setting the city?
It broke up a bit. What was that?
I said, when are you going to be setting your army of evil in the city?
Oh, she laughs. They're not an army of evil. As any more than you are an instrument of evil.
Oh no!
Am I evil?
You are linked with your creator, no? With your master, I'm sorry. With your master? No?
Yes.
And if your master is not evil, then you would not be evil.
So by deductive reasoning, Reina is evil.
So what I'm saying, Raven, is that the person controlling the elves...
Controlling is bad. You should not control things.
You are under the control of one, are you not?
No, I help her. She asks me, and I help her because I want to. Controlling is bad, and servitude is bad.
Very well. Perhaps Adelaide could help me in giving them enough control over themselves that they did not need to be in my servitude. Would that please you, Raven?
Yes.
Good. Good.
Autonomous murder bots. Got it.
Yes. No, not murder. That is not... I fear you're still missing it, but just tell Adelaide to take the meeting.
I'll tell her.
Okay. Thank you, Raven.
Poof. Poof.
Yeah.
And apparently, I'm just standing in a field by myself.
You're probably in the stands
with way too much armor on.
Yeah, you're standing there in the stands. Raven bamfs away, and what do you do?
Probably look up and see me sitting next to her. How do you get up there?
Yeah, I standing here in a field.
Well, as soon as we get out of the main circle, as it were, I'm gonna invis us and just get us out of there.
Oh, okay. What does Forrest do?
What do I do?
Uh-huh.
I try to find somebody. I don't know. I was trying to answer all these questions.
You could probably find my father. He's at least somebody you know.
Yeah, you could definitely find Adelaide's Telemus.
There's a guy in the main hall. Punch him in the stomach.
I already punched him. I already punched him outside the expo.
Yeah, as you walk out, you see this guy being carted out in chains, and all his wares are being confiscated.
I think Telemus actually finds you, Forrest.
Okay, that'll work.
And he comes up and he says, "Oh, I saw Adelaide had one of her episodes. I was back with our little creation, and on my way back to the stands, I noticed Adelaide leaving. Have you seen where she went? I can't find her anywhere."
I know that she was headed in this direction with Wonderful William, but beyond that, I don't know where they went because I don't know where anyone went. I was talking to Adelaide's thing, and then that thing just poofed. So I'm just
Oh, her familiar. Yes. Well, it would be able to find her. We'll track it down.
okay.
He starts looking around. What's Raven doing? Like, where did you poof to?
Well, I mean, I would have poofed to Adelaide's side.
Uh-huh. So you poof to her side. She's invisible, but you feel like the mental connection there. So so you're not invisible. So
No.
I'm gonna, would you want Adelaide's dad to find you?
Sure.
Okay. So then,
Just walking behind Adelaide and Will, just kind of looking around at stuff.
so I think, well, I don't know, Forrest, are you looking too?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll let you find Raven if you want, before he does, if you want to.
I can do that.
So yes, you spot Raven off in the distance, and do you point him out? I assume.
Yeah, I'm gonna, like, not shove him, but give him a nudge and be like.
So you go to hold your arm out, and it's pointing like this. It's like
yeah.
like and he's like, "Oh, good control. I'm impressive. We should go." And so he like bustles off to go and catch up with Raven. And like he's having trouble pushing his way through the crowd because it seems like people are starting to usher out.
Oh, piece of cake.
So you just like make a hole.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're pushing your way through, and
I grab a hold of him and just like lift him up. And I'm
so
just like, yeah, I'm like Heisman trophying him. through the crowd.
So you pick him up, and your hand is like opened like this, and it's just like shoving people out of the way. And every once in a while, like you go to push somebody, and it'll just like grab like something off their like seat. You've got like a bag now in your hand.
Yeah, I've dropped a stone now.
Yeah, so the lodestone is gone. You've got a bag, and you get it. You catch up to Raven.
I'll be like, "Hey guys!"
And then Raven's just walking behind the invisible Adelaide and William.
Yeah, he's just
Saying,
walking for no
like-
reason.
Oh, I
Yeah,
guess
just
I wouldn't even
walking-
see them. So I'll be like, "Thing, hey, Thing."
Huh? Oh, hey. Hi. Found us.
Us?
Well, yeah. Us.
Okay. Who's us?
Us?
All right. Anyways, hey, I got Adelaide's dad.
Yeah, I see
And he's
that.
like, "Yes, you may put me down now. Please, I do not need you to carry me."
Yeah, put him down. And I'll like reach up and take the bag out of his hand. Put him down. What's in this?
So you take his bag.
Yeah.
All right, I'll set. I set him down. I'd be like, "Well, I guess this is us."
Look at what's in the bag. I'm just like, is this the bag that they stole?
You know what? I think it is. I think he got it off of a guard or someone who had taken it from the thing. He was gonna go
So
return all the
perfect.
items.
Be like,
So you
oh,
get
you
your
found my
bag
bag.
back.
Thanks. Hey, you know what? I don't care what anybody says about you. You're a good guy.
I
So
am
I'll
the
like
best
turn
way.
around and start walking and be like, so Raina's gonna send a person to come invite you to a meeting, and she said I should come.
Who are you talking to?
Adelaide.
You spoke with Raina?
What the fuck?
Just a voice, disembodied voice.
Just a disembodied voice. You spoke with Raina?
Yeah, she said that you're my real master now, and I'm not evil because you're not evil, and she's going to set her elf rock people free with your help, and she's sending somebody to make a meeting, and you should go to it at her palace, and you can have all of the stuff in the where my master keeps the things. We should go.
I
I think at that moment the vassal shows up, and he sees Adelaide's dad, and and catches up and says, my apologies. Ptolemus Ulari, I would like to formally invite you and your daughter Adelaide to the Kelsang Palace for a meeting. We have been woefully understaffed since the loss of your expert services. And he waits, and does anybody say anything before Ptolemus?
Oh yeah, they want you to come back to the house. The thing. Palace. The three, you know. This is the guy I was telling you about. Just digging through the bag.
And Ptolemus looks down at Raven, because he just heard all of this, and then he looks up and says, "Well, of course, we will take that meeting. Just any time when, or actually, I don't think he says any time. I think he says, let me know when Raina would like to meet, and I'll see if it'll fit into our busy schedule." Tries to power play it, and the vassal is like, "Oh, of course," and he says, "Well, I'll have the details sent to your current shop, and please just let us know whenever you're free." And he says, "Give my best to your daughter and your family, and good work with your animated statue." And then he turns and tries to book it out of there unless anybody stops him.
Nope.
Okay.
How funny that you guys came up with the small silver animated statue at the same day that they came up with the big, tall Blackstone animated statue.
That thing is evil. And it's going to destroy the barrier.
Are you
Raina
guys still
says.
invisible?
I don't know. Are you guys still invisible?
Yeah.
Raina
Some
says.
bullshit.
Raina says that you're only evil if your owner is evil, but I don't think you should own people. So you should let people have free will. She said that they're not evil unless their controller is. But she said she's going to let them go when Adelaide goes to the meeting. So then they probably won't be evil.
William. The barrier is weakening, and whatever they're making that out of, that black stone, is going to cause this world and the next to collide, and we have to stop it.
And Donna's not happy about it.
Well, maybe that's what I was hearing. But we have to stop it. We can't help Raina. We have to stop her.
So we're going to burn a palace down?
I don't know. I think we need more information. We need to...
Because we've already burned down one palace this month.
I think we need to find out what exactly the Kilsangs have going on and if they understand the damage that they're doing.
I get the impression they do know and don't care, but...
That's true. They could not care. But why would they want to weaken the barrier?
No, it's not intent to weaken the barrier. They just don't care. There could be intent that they want to weaken the barrier, but it's a power play. In one move, they're disabling two of the other houses.
But this is bigger than this city and their responsibility to these people and wanting to be rich. I mean, we elves, it's our job to maintain the barrier and keep what's on the other side from getting through. That's more important than their political gain.
Well, to you it is, but, people are dumb.
Father, you didn't hear anything? When they brought out the statue? You really didn't hear the voices?
No, my darling. I'm sorry, but no, I heard. I heard the crowd. I saw the statue move, but I heard no voices.
We can't help Raina. We have to stop her.
But perhaps we should just see what it is that she wants. Maybe we can work from the inside.
It doesn't disgust you that they gave magic to those creatures?
The statue is simply animated. We animated our own creation. We don't know enough about
but our creation wasn't shooting magic out of its hands.
A magic wand is not evil. It is not a perversion, but magic can, you can use it as a means to assault something with magical power. I don't see how the statue itself is... I trust your judgment, but I think we should go and find out more before we act rashly. What did you just roll?
So this is a smarts roll by Wonderful William, duly appointed representative of Donna, master of the mystical thaumaturgy.
Okay. I just saw a lot of words and I wasn't sure what was happening. So what are you trying to do?
So, and I guess that technically could be a discern realities. It's still
probably
int,
spout lore if you're trying to know information.
Either way, it's int.
Yeah.
So numbers apply.
I like the name of this.
No, that's my title. That's my actual title.
Yeah, that's his title.
Sheet. the amount of magic you had to put into that little marionette was immense as it was. It took you guys weeks
Yeah.
to put that together.
And 2 of us.
Something of that magnitude, and they're talking about weaponizing an army of them. That's not possible.
I'm gonna put my hand on Adelaide's father and be like, "Father."
Okay. He looks at you and goes, "Yes." I mean, what?
I'm gonna need training, and then we can cut away later to a.
Okay. Can I add something? And this is not to make Forrest seem less cool, but that was all in his head.
Yep.
So he's like, he looks at him and goes, "We need training," and then feels really cool, and then sees like the training montage that he's gonna have later, and then it cuts back to them still standing there.
And he's just like this.
And he's just like looking off into space, like ruminating in this cool line he just dropped. And he goes, yes, we of course, but we need to figure out what this is first, Forrest. And you're just still like, dun, 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 like.
Yeah, man.
No,
And I want to give William some information because you rolled really well on what would probably be a spout lore. So you remember there are several myths for how the elves were created. There is the line that I forget. Adelaide knows one. Do you want to tell us that one, Adelaide?
Sure. So I'm just gonna read the thing that I wrote to you guys a long time ago. So elves were once the ethereal beings who lived in the magical plane of existence. They were a peaceful people who could see through the barrier to the mortal realm and would occasionally provide aid to the creatures on the other side. The queen of the elves, I have no idea why I wrote that name, Magdina? Sure. Hated the mortal world, seeing their hunger for power and their lust for the magical elves possessed. She forbid anyone from going through and placed a curse on the barrier between the two worlds. If an elf stepped foot across the barrier, they would become trapped there, losing their immortality. The light inside of them would cease to flow and then would become hard as stone. The daughter of the queen, Alora, was intrigued by the humans who lived in the mortal realm and would often astral project her image into their world to learn more about the creatures. She fell in love with a human, and rather than spend her immortal life alone, she helped them with a bunch of her friends and breached through the barrier to the mortal realm. As the light died inside the elves that crossed over, their skin began to solidify and turn dark, becoming stone. The cracks in the barrier spread across the world, and magic in the mortal realm was born. This magic, though, was dangerous and unpredictable. The humans of the world would become hunger for the power, which would corrupt the mortals who tried to control it. And so Alora and her companions devoted their lives to maintaining the cracks, trying to seal them to prevent the corruption of this world.
Okay, cool. So that's longer than I remember it being.
Sorry, you asked.
So there is one version of the story of the elves in which they were beings from the other side that were sort of banished here. There is another version of this story in which the barrier itself was made from a people, and the barrier, the people, like the creatures, the beings that make up the barrier, could be drawn forth as guardians to protect that barrier. So that's why the elves, like that's the the elves were made versus the elves came through, sort of myth. And there's probably some truth to both. It's probably somewhere in the middle. Maybe those people gave themselves to become the barrier or were sacrificed to become the barrier on the other side, or maybe it is that when they pass through, they lose their light. But either way, that was all meant to be a long time ago. So if this creation, this black stone elf, is hewn from the barrier or drawn through and made stone, it could literally be like a chunk of the barrier or some creature from beyond made of the barrier itself.
Well, my logic is there has been 2 holes that we've dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
And both times involved horrible things of doom coming out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lovely spell book here, which is basically how to use holes in the barrier to get power. So basically my point is the only way that they could be creating these is by ripping holes in the fabric of the universe, which will lead to horrible demon monsters coming out.
Yeah,
Yep.
totally. That is now true.
Yep.
I've seen books like that. There was a bunch in my master's lab. My old master's lab.
Didn't you say that Raina was going to allow me into your old master's area and have his stuff?
Sure. He doesn't need it anymore because she sent him on a mission and she said he's not coming back ever. So she said I could give you his stuff and it would.
I wonder if there's anything in there that can help us put
It's
back
all a
the
bunch
holes
of-
in the barrier.
It's all a bunch of stuff about transmutation and concentration. He didn't really mess very much with the other school magic.
Okay.
Are you guys still invisible?
Yes.
Bullshit.
I think Dad's not having a problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm so annoyed by it.
So yeah,
Do you
Well,
say that?
Adelaide's all disheveled right now, and I don't need other people seeing her like that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
so sweet.
I'm gonna take a trash can and just start dumping it in areas so I can finally see where they're at. Hopefully, just cover them in trash.
Telemus says, before Forrest makes a scene, we should perhaps find some place. Let's head back to our house. We've got much to discuss before we
We do.
attend that meeting. Especially if you want to get access to those books, like you say, Adelaide. Oh dear! I think his training montage has moved him into. What is he doing with that trash can? We should go.
There's a little music box in the bag that just starts.
Start playing that because that's what's stuck in his head. Well, that seems like
it comes full circle.
Yeah, so I think that seems like a perfect place to call this session. Awesome, we did it.
Good job, guys.
Thank you. So again, I've been Kurt. We'll
You've
go
been
left
Kurt?
to right.
You're no longer
You've
Kurt?
been Kurt?
I have been and will continue to be Kurt. We'll go left to right. Wonderful William.
Night Sun here. Thank you all for joining.
I don't have-
They
me.
can't see
I
the
don't
overlay.
have the
Forrest is
screen
next.
Yep. Andor, thank you. Sorry, I'm bad RP here.
You're great. This has been Gidget. See you tonight for the podcast.
And I guess that leaves me. Prestige, Raven, have fun. GG Nori.
And you've been watching Pixel Scandal or listening to Pixel Scandal if you're finding this in audio.
Paper scandal.
You can find more Pixel Scandal stuff by heading over to twitch.tv/Pixel Scandal or following us on Twitter, twitter.com/Pixel Scandal, or just looking for Pixel Scandal in all the usual places. And of course, come back tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Pixel Scandal Nerdcast, where we'll be probably talking about this game a little bit, and also what's our topic tonight? Books and
Comic books into movies and
comic
TV
book
shows.
adaptations into movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a good show. All right, thanks everybody.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Bye.